Alright, so obviously this was not expected, but we are live. We do have right off the bat a confirmed tornado warning in Rochester and Casson in Dodge Center in Minnesota. If you guys are from Dodge Center, you know you get tornado warnings all the time. This one is real. This is an observed tornado warning. We should be taking shelter in Dodge Center, Casson, Byron, Claremont, and Wasioja. Rochester as well. Let's go ahead and start taking an early shelter. By the way, guys, I literally still have stuff all over my desk. Obviously, did not plan to go live this early, so I'm still setting up as we are live. But obviously, we kind of had to go live as quick as possible there. We do have another tornado warning up here for Kenyon and Nerstrand in Minnesota. This is also an observed tornado warning, so be in shelter if you're in either of those. Any of the storms we have here across southeastern Minnesota could potentially produce a tornado. We've seen very small storms produce a tornado, so we're going to continue to see that over the coming hours, and we have to keep an eye out for those storms there. Sorry guys, I'm still getting some of the stuff in the background here set up. Don't have basically anything open that I need open, but we're getting there. Alright, so above my head, I'm still working on changing the town name, but this is US 14 at 220th. Wrong device. Cancel. Alright, so that camera above our head, that is US 14. If you're from Minnesota, you know where 14 is. That is this good old highway right here. Basically runs from Owatonna all the way to Rochester. That is on that in our tornado warning right now. Other than that, we do have obviously another widespread severe thunderstorm watch across parts of Nebraska and Iowa. This is not as high as a tornado threat. In fact, this severe threat is starting to wane. We mostly just have our eyes on this storm up here to the north. But we're going to keep an eye on any of these storms to produce a tornado, especially these ones here near La Crosse. We can see a hook on this. Probably going to see a tornado warning here just in case this does manage to wrap up. It's not producing a tornado right now, however, it definitely could in the future. It's only a few scans away from wrapping up. Same thing with this storm north of Rushford, south of Winona. We can start to see the inflow and the RFD coming together. This will eventually form a couplet and eventually a potential tornado as well. Owatonna. Let me switch to the other storm here. This is a tornado possible storm right now. There is somewhat of a hook on it as well. It does not look like it is producing a tornado. However, I would expect to see another tornado warning for this area of rotation south of Owatonna. The majority of Owatonna, you guys are fine though. It's only areas south of Highway 14 that I'd be concerned about as of now. For anyone who is watching today, basically once we see this main line go through our 5% tornado risk, this is when our tornado risk will start to wane, and we are no longer going to have such an elevated tornado risk as we do now. But until we have that happen, we could see these spin-up tornadoes. Obviously, we have a ton of different reports here, almost 7 of them. I believe we've actually have somewhere around 10. Those just aren't all put in here yet. But these are all tornado reports here from a few of the earlier storms that we saw. Going to continue to see those. Storm Under Media, he is over there in Austin, Minnesota on I-90. These storms around him may still see a tornado or two, but we're not there yet. If he does see a tornado, we will have him pulled up. Up above our head, we can see them panning that camera. This is something that could see a tornado shortly. It's not seeing a tornado as of now, but it may. They did move that camera for a reason. You can see the base on that storm. I'm actually going to go ahead. Let me pull up another VLC media player I can full screen. Just need to get that camera link again. We'll take a look at that camera on the big screen. This is our camera from the Minnesota Department of Travel. That is our storm base right here. This is where we would see a potential tornado spin up. Need to pull up my pen so I can draw on screen. But this is our base, and you can kind of see a few funnily looking things on the bottom that not producing a tornado as of right now, but it could in the future. Dude. Oh, there it is. So this is our storm, and that is our storm base. That is where we could see a potential spin-up tornado near Highway 14. I'm going to put that camera back above my head. That is in our tornado warning here near Dodge Center. Sorry guys, I'm still working on moving windows around and setting them up in the background. So yeah, we haven't had any new tornado warnings in the last 8 minutes. In fact, we're down to only one tornado warning, but that is an observed tornado warning here near Casson in Dodge Center. Any of these storms in this area could potentially produce tornadoes. Let me pull up mesoscale analysis. Storm Prediction Center, meso analysis. So this is our current SPC mesoscale analysis, and if we look at, I gotta find it. Our significant tornado parameter here, we can see that values aren't actually that high, and that's because the tornadoes that we're seeing here today aren't actually classic tornadoes. But when you take a look at our supercell or our 3 Cape and vorticity, we can see that we have an increased region of that that's sort of overlapping here in southern Minnesota. This is what the forecasters decided to look at today, or one of the things they decided to look at today when they upgraded to a 5% tornado risk. The combination of the increased vorticity and the 3 Cape will lead to increased tornado potential, and that is why we saw the midday expansion to our 5% risk. That 5% risk is here in Iowa, Wisconsin, and southeastern Minnesota. And that is currently where we are seeing our tornadoes. Also, in addition to the tornadoes, I do want to talk about our severe thunderstorms and downbursts that we sort of have ongoing near North Carolina, or mostly in North Carolina and all the way almost into Georgia. These are just severe thunderstorms. There is no chance of a tornado with any of these storms. I'd be shocked if we did manage to see a tornado with any of these storms. It's a less than 2% tornado risk. However, these are mostly going to be producing 60 mile per hour winds. I would imagine that almost every single one of these storms is warned for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. It looks like every single one of them basically is. So that is going to continue over the next few hours, but our only tornado risk that we have is mostly up here in Minnesota. We do have a widespread 2% risk, but this is where I have my eye on for the most prolific chance of a tornado. Working on getting another cam he pulled up here. Sorry, bear with me. So this camera is also on US 14. This is just a little further. I think that's further to the west. I can't really tell. Sorry, I don't have like all the fancy stuff that Max has pulled up. But yeah, all these cameras that we're looking at are on Highway 14. I need to change the name of that. This is 14 near 57th in our tornado warning. They did just issue a continuation of the tornado warning. We are now down to a radar indicated tag on this storm, so no longer a tornado on the ground from the National Weather Service, but still definitely the potential for a tornado. So we need to keep an eye on these storms. Do not want to update Epic Pen. No, thank you. Let me come over to my other radar program here. Also not loading W. So this is strong area of rotation that we talked about a little while ago. This is a tornado on the ground now that we have. This is to the east of, or west of Sheldon, Minnesota, east of Highland. This is a tornado on the ground. You can see here on the quad panel we have a tight velocity couplet and a clear hook. and a CC drop associated with the drop in ZDR. These are 4 different things indicating that we have a unwarned tornado on the ground. The tornado warning for this storm will include Sheldon, Houston, Caledonia, and Hoka, all in Minnesota. La Crosse, you guys are in the path of this, unfortunately. This is moving right at La Crosse. It's probably 45 minutes out. The tornado warning will stop just short of La Crosse, but it is something to keep an eye on in the next few tornado warnings that we're inevitably going to see for this storm. That is this storm right here. So once again, Caledonia, Black Hammer, Yucatan, Houston, you guys are all going to be in this new tornado warning. A tornado warning, or a tornado is on the ground right now. We can see it on CC. This is about to go into the town of Yucatan, Minnesota. There is our observed tornado warning for that storm here. This expires in 36 minutes, includes Yucatan, Sheldon, Ches Mill, and Houston, all in Minnesota. This is a radar-confirmed tornado, and a tornado is on the ground. I believe we may need to go to my other radar program. No. Okay, no, that is clear air. Need to adjust some of my window sizes here, but yes, this is an observed tornado warning, and this is the tornado that we can see on CC to the west of Yucatan. For those of you who are just tuning in, the reason that Max is not online is because we are having major issues with his internet. We literally have Cell and Starlink, and for whatever reason, a combination of none of those is working right now. So we had to forward stuff over here. If for whatever reasons Max's internet, his normal fiber internet provider does manage to come back line, we'll go back over there, but for now we're doing what we can here to spread the word about these tornadoes. I believe we just got a new radar update on our correlation coefficient on this storm. No, I see it on one of my radar programs, but not over here yet. This tornado is still on the ground. It's going through the town of Yucatan right now. This is our only tornado warning that we have. All right, so we're going to see it in a second. Definitely still on the ground. I would, let me do math here. 72, 27. I would almost support a PDS tornado warning. Yeah, in that latest scan, I definitely support a PDS tornado warning. If you are still in Yucatan in Minnesota, you are still able to take shelter for this. This is a slower moving tornado, so it is not through the town of Yucatan. This does deserve to be upgraded to a particularly dangerous situation tornado tag. It is just an observed tornado warning right now, but still be taking it seriously. Unfortunately, this is one of the storms that's formed in a marginal environment, but does have the potential to be a long-track tornado. We can see the embedded supercell right here moving off towards La Crosse, Minnesota right now. We just got a new tornado warning up here to the north of Pine Island. This includes Aspeland, Wanamingo, and the Zumbrota in Minnesota. This is a radar-indicated tornado warning, and we do have another tornado warning here. It's been in effect for a while now for Claremont, Dodge Center, Cashin, and Byron. However, the only tornado that we have on the ground right now is this tornado moving towards La Crosse, Minnesota. As of the latest radar scan, it does still continue to be on the ground. I'm going to flip it over to the 2 panel here so we can just do this. It'll be a little quicker. That is our velocity couplet, and this is our CC drop. Still not into the town of Yucatan. It is somewhat stalling out, so that is a good thing. However, this continues to be a strong tornado on the ground. I do still support a PDS tornado warning for this storm. I actually support it even more now. So hopefully we do see an update to a PDS tornado warning pretty soon. Doesn't matter either way if you're in the towns of Sheldon or Houston. Let's be taking shelter now. If you're in Houston, you may be looking at this thing being like, oh, well, that's going to go off to my south. That's not always the case, and unfortunately, we do see tornadoes occlude off to the northeast. That puts Houston right in the middle of the path of this tornado. My Starlink, thanks so much for the $20 donation. Sorry guys, I'm still like in the process of setting stuff up here. We should be good now, though. So this continues to be our only tornado warning or tornado that we have on the ground. In fact, the storm to its north is looking a lot less significant. We were talking about this one earlier about potentially trying to spin up a tornado. There's not as much as convergence there as there was now. So still just a very strong tornado on the ground near Yucatan in Minnesota. You can see the embedded supercell there. You can see the tornado on radar. That means that we should be taking shelter now. I believe we just got... no, that's just GR2 lying to me. This is still a radar indicated tornado warning here. Rochester, Minnesota. I know there's probably a bunch of people that we have watching in Rochester, Minnesota. You may find yourselves in a tornado warning here shortly. If we do see an extension of the tornado warning that we currently have for Dodge Center, this is going to be a radar indicated tornado warning. There is still the potential that this storm could manage to spin up a tornado. We're looking at some lower top supercells, so that means that they're not they're not really that high in this environment. It makes it really hard to see a couplet on radar like we normally would. Obviously, this storm over here near La Crosse isn't like that. We can see the couplet on radar, but those shorter storms over there off to the west could still potentially spin up a tornado, and it's going to be much harder to see on radar. So we're just going to have to trust the warnings that we get for those areas and assume that there is a tornado on the ground if we do get a warning for our area. Oh my god, this last CC update. Still no PDS tornado warning for that, by the way, but there is a very, very deep debris ball signature now off to the east of Yucatan. Yucatan, you just took a direct hit from a nasty tornado. This is basically the entire area of the debris ball that is a CC drop now. This is most likely a very strong tornado warning that is still, or a very strong tornado that is still on the ground. Let me bring GR2 down here real quick, so we can take a look at the 4-panel. Look at the crosshair that you see in the middle. That is that red square. If I move it around the outside of the hook echo on reflectivity, you can see that basically the entire area is associated with a CC and ZDR drop. CC is basically detecting the things that are in the air. It means that there's not a very good correlation with the size of the things that are in the air, so that means that there is probably a tornado on the ground lofting debris. In this case, we definitely have a tornado on the ground lofting debris. There's another thing that we have going on over here. We can see drop ZDR values. ZDR is slightly different. It's a lot more difficult to explain, but all of these things are indicating to me, especially when we look at the velocity couplet, that there is a strong tornado on the ground. Once again, I do still support a PDS tornado warning for this. It remains at just an observed, but it does not matter. We're going to be taking shelter whether or not the warning is tagged PDS or not. But if you're watching and you're in this tornado warning, know that it is a particularly dangerous situation, and your source is me. Once again, this tornado is headed off towards La Crosse. I'm not saying it's going to make it to La Crosse, but there is the potential that it could. So in La Crosse, we should be on high alert in case that tornado warning remains on the ground. Once again, the latest radar update, still a very strong CC drop. This coming up towards the town of Sheldon now. I do think it's going to go north of Sheldon towards 10, but we should still be in shelter in Sheldon. And my Epic pen is broke. Oh wow, I don't care to fix it right now. Stewartville, you guys have storms off to your east. They could still potentially produce tornadoes, but you guys are not in a tornado warning as of right now. Any of these storms, though, they could try and spin up a tornado for sure. Like literally anything here. We got to keep an eye out for a potential tornado. We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning for a lot of Dodge County in Minnesota. This includes West Concord, Wasioja, Claremont, Dodge Center, and Casson. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. No tornado possible tag on that severe thunderstorm warning. However, I do think a tornado is still possible on that storm. So let's be ready for a potential tornado warning if we are in any of those areas. Another tornado warning off to the north. This is for Norway, Mumbai, Wanamingo, Hayter, and Zumbrota. But this is definitely our most concerning tornado warning. I'll turn CC on again just so you guys can see it. Still a very large debris ball on radar. In fact, probably even a growing debris ball. Is just growing in size and intensity. There's nothing indicating that this storm is going to try to weaken anytime soon. They did just upgrade this warning. It remains as observed, not PDS. Don't really know why. Still doesn't matter. We should be in shelter in Houston and Sheldon in Minnesota. Looking at my other radar that I have pulled up here, I don't see anything else that's really indicative of a significant tornado on the ground, or a potential tornado here anytime in the short term. That is why we are keeping an eye sort of on this storm near Yucatan. Continues to be a very strong velocity couplet. Luckily, in that last update, it does look like the CC has gotten a little less significant. We're waiting to see that update on this radar. There it is on this radar. Hopefully, I pray that this tornado has lifted. There is still a little bit of a CC drop. Hopefully that's associated with debris fallout and no longer a tornado on the ground. The other thing that I do want to point out is the Crosse radar is sort of down in elevation from things that surround it. So you may be looking at all of these weird stuff that we can see on radar. That is because this is in the river valley, and the radar does pick up some of the cliffs here. Unfortunately, that does mean that we are going to have lower resolution radar data, so you may see some sort of contamination as we get closer to the radar. I'm sure you've heard about the cone of silence before. That is the area around the radar where we have literally no radar data just because we're so close to it because of the river bluffs in this area, especially along I-90. If you've done this drive in I-90, you know that it goes up a ton in elevation. It just interferes with the ability for the radar to see anything in an even bigger area. We're moving into that area, and we're just going to have to assume that a tornado is on the ground, even if it doesn't show it on radar, because it might look a little bit strange. Observed tornado warning does continue down here to the south. So the weakening trend of our CC drop does continue in that last radar update. It is still there, definitely for sure. Could be a potential tornado on the ground. It is still weaker off to the west of Yucatan. But definitely an observed tornado warning still. Luckily, velocity is also starting to look a lot less significant. Let me flip velocity on. There is velocity there. Still a clear couplet on it. It is not as tight as what we saw in previous scans, but there still could potentially be a tornado on the ground. Hopefully this thing is weakening. I'm not confident to say that it is for sure weakening, but it is something to keep an eye out for, as it could be happening. That, of course, would be a very good thing if the tornado does manage to lift. Back off to the northwest of Pine Island. This continues to have some broad velocity on it, no CC drop on it, but still tornado warned, as we could see a brief spin-up tornado from our line of storms that we have there. We zoom back in on Crosse, flip back to this radar, make sure there's been no updates. So still continuing to see weakening CC drop on this storm, still strong velocity. Could definitely produce a tornado here again shortly. It is not on the ground right now, however. Or it's hopefully not on the ground, I should say. It could try to spin up another tornado. But I do think it'd at least cycle for the time being. Yeah, last radar scan looks a lot less significant. CC looks pretty clean. Ideally, I would say that this thing would be done spinning up a tornado. However, you can still see there's a clear inflow notch as well as a area of rotation that's sticking out to the southeast of the storm. That does mean that it could still produce another tornado. I am seeing pictures of this on Twitter. Unfortunately, I cannot show you those pictures, but it did look like it was a pretty strong cone tornado here that we had. I think this is like our 10th or 11th tornado report today. Wonder how much we have on the SPC's website right now. We only have 7 tornado reports on the SPC's website right now. All of those are back here. We do not have any official tornado reports for our storm in here, but let me tell you, it is going to happen. I'm seeing pictures of it. There definitely was a tornado on the ground, and there still could be a tornado trying to form. Christopher, I can use chasers, however, I do not have as much set up on my OBS as Max does, so it's a little harder for me to use chasers. It's much easier for me to use these stationary traffic cameras that I have above my head, and that's why we're using those. There's actually no chasers that we can show in the area of the storm, so that's why we don't have any storm chasers up. The only storm chaser, I believe, who is in our 5% today is Stormrunner Media. If he does have something, we'll 100% pull him up, but right now, our most interesting storm is over here near Crosse, and there's nothing that storm chasers can see right now the traffic cameras can't. Dringo Girl, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Where was the tornado? Our tornado occurred somewhere in this corridor right here. Strong CC drop. No longer a CC drop on that, however, it could 100% try and spin up a tornado still. The storm is moving towards Crosse. Still only 2 tornado warnings. I feel like we've talked about both of these tornado warnings over and over again. For any of you who are tuning out from or tuning in from outside our tornado watch, I do want to once again mention our widespread severe thunderstorm watch we have in North Carolina and Georgia, right? Or I guess South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia right now. This is mostly for downburst convection. This will not produce a tornado. It's still going to produce 60, 70, maybe even 80 mile per hour winds. We do have another region of severe thunderstorm warnings in here near Santa Rosa Beach, Panama City, and Tallahassee in Florida. But our only tornado threat really that we have right now is over here in southeastern Minnesota. We did just get a continuation of our tornado warning here. I believe they've updated it to a radar indicated, so no longer an observed tornado warning headed for La Crosse, but still a tornado warning nonetheless. Definitely something that could cycle. Additionally, our tornado warning off to the north here that was near Kenyon, Zumbrota, Wanamingo, Asplund, and Goodhue that has been allowed to expire. Still broad rotation on radar. Probably not going to spin up a tornado, but it could. So be ready for an additional tornado warning. Further off here to the southwest. I'll briefly cover all these storms. They could potentially rotate. They are in a 2% tornado risk. It's not very likely that they do produce a tornado. In fact, most of this risk is almost done for the day. We're almost out of the 2%. And hopefully this means that our severe threat will start to drop off. We do still have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for another 5 hours for that area, but not a tornado watch. Continue to see rotation on our tornado warned storm here, heading towards La Crosse. Looking at other storms on radar, still nothing that's really grabbing my attention. Hopefully this storm over here is the last one that we attempt to see produce a tornado, but you never know for sure. I would still hope that it could, because it very well could be the last storm that we try to see produce a tornado. Oh, my chat's in the wrong mode. That's boring. Who wants to watch top chat? I want live chat. I'm going to go and grab some storm reports here, see if there's anything I missed. Hail in North Carolina, South Carolina. Got some thunderstorm wind damage out of Texas. Some out of Florida as well. Not a lot out of Minnesota. Got a rain report out of Michigan. That's another thing that I think I'm going to briefly touch on real quick. Christina, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Weather Prediction Center. We do have a risk of flash flooding today, and actually tomorrow and the day after that. We have a very large risk of flash flooding. This includes parts of... Why is my pen so massive? This includes South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, barely parts of Illinois, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. You guys are all in this slight risk of excessive flooding. That was my radio going off. Jump scare. Corey Gherkin just scared the bejesus out of me. Probably scared the bejesus out of you guys too, because I know that was very loud. Nancy, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I promise you guys, with this mic, like, it was behind my mic. It was way louder for me than it was for you, and I already know it was very loud for you guys, so. This severe thunderstorm warning is continuing to look way less significant. Southwest Minnesota, no, you guys do not have that much of a storm threat tomorrow. Just taking a look at all these storms, by the way, guys. Positive things we're seeing. Not a lot of areas of rotation. We see a lot of green and not a lot of red. I mean, it's really not that simple, but I'm going to simplify it like that because I can. But that does mean that we're seeing a lot less rotation in this area, so really only this storm that continues to look like it might try something silly. We've seen a lot of crapvection go up across Minnesota, and for those of you who don't know what crapvection is, it's all this sort of scattered convection that we have here. This heavily damages an environment's ability to produce a tornado. Obviously, that's a really good thing. So our crapvection is stopping our convection from hopefully producing tornadoes. So W crapvection. Patty, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. Yeah, more crapvection. Crapvection is a good thing. Oh. My internet just did the silly. I don't think you guys noticed it, but my internet also just tried to be silly. I didn't even drop frames, but I felt it. It might have just been some lag on my radar as well, but something felt weird. I'm still streaming at 10,000 kilobytes a second, so we're chilling. No internet issues. I lied. It was just a radar issue there for a second. What happened to Max? So for those of you who don't know, Max's internet did go out. We tried streaming on just Starlink. However, Starlink does have some random latency issues. Because of those latency issues, he wasn't able to keep a consistent feed. So we sent everyone over here. If Max's internet does come back online and does look stable again, we will send everyone back over there. But for now, we're here. Bryce Shelton, thanks so much for the $20 super chat. And Sue, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Wonder what Bryce Shelton's doing right now. Do we think he's live? Oh, I don't have any of my chasers on. For whatever reason, they got glitched off. Oh, there it loads. Those of you who don't know, Bryce Shelton, he is one of the people, I guess Bryce Shelton and Tornado Pagey, that is one of the storm chasers that we work with. Why is it showing that I, of all people, am storm chasing in Bay Lake, Minnesota? Guys, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see that. I can assure you that I am not storm chasing in Minnesota right now. I'm gonna do this. That is not where I live, for the record. That is wrong. Everyone thank my mom for 20 gifted memberships. We need W moms in your chat. Apparently that's only on my radar, Omega, but I'm still not there, so I don't know why it would say that I'm there. This is continuing to look less and less significant, although it does still have a hook on it. It does not have a tight velocity couplet on it right now. Still could try something, so don't let your guard down, especially if you are in La Crosse. storms continue to look not so significant. Just realized I've been hunched toward this entire stream. I gotta move back and not destroy my back at the ripe young age of 21. This is one thing that looks interesting. This is an outflow boundary. We can barely see it on radar here, but this outflow boundary should mean that any convection off to the west or north of it is not capable of producing a tornado. Our only tornado warning right now remains this one north of Caledonia and south of Houston. And this expires in 11 minutes. I would hope and assume that they are going to issue a radar indicated tornado warning downstream of this, just because it still could potentially try and spin up a tornado. There's still a massive hook on it. Look, we got a random severe thunderstorm with a clickbait hook on it in Illinois right now. Chadwick, Mount Carroll, and Lanark, 60-mile-per-hour winds. W. I think I got a video for my brother from Owatonna, Minnesota. I'll show that if it calms down. If we get no tornado warnings and I can get it on my computer easily enough, we'll show that. This does look like it's trying to dogleg, which hopefully means that it's gone outflow dominant. Not 100% sure that it has, though, so. This is the only storm that's piquing my tornado interest right now. Do we hit 30K subscribers? I've seen like 2 people say it. We may have. Oh, I went back into the hunch position. For the record, completely, well, I guess not really completely off topic. This severe thunderstorm warning that's quite literally encompassing a tornado warning does not even have a tornado possible tag on it. Like, I can't be the only one who thinks that's insane. Oh, we did hit 30K. 30,122, guys. Thanks so much for 30,000 subscribers. Normally, I'd have that pull up so I can thank you right away, but I still have like nothing normal that I would have pulled up. We are 30% of the way to a silver play button. That's literally insane. Upgraded severe thunderstorm warning for Cass and Wasioja. I guess Wasioja, you're not in it. Just Dodge Center, Cass, and in Mantorville. You guys are in the severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Does seem like our crap vection is winning the day over. This storm has basically exited the tornado warning polygon. So here comes the moment of truth here shortly. We're going to see if they expire that tornado warning, cancel that tornado warning, or extend that tornado warning. They did extend it. It probably looks something like this. All right, so they're going to allow that tornado warning to expire. They do still have a tornado possible tag on the severe thunderstorm warning and 60-mile-per-hour wind tag as well. This is going to go off to the south of La Crosse, hopefully. Hopefully. La Crosse, you could still see some severe winds. There's definitely some gusty winds in this portion as well, but not as significant as the ones that we have down here. Lafayette, Indiana. Pretty sure we don't have much going on in Indiana. Indiana is very calm. We have a couple of special weather statements up here near Plymouth and North Judson, but no severe thunderstorm warnings in the state of Indiana. W's in the chat for Dave. Dave, thanks so much for the $50 donation. This is something that was tornado warned that we could see get tornado warned again off to the southwest of Lake City. It's in an area of low reflectivity, but it's a velocity couplet, and with the way that storms look today, or have been acting today, that is definitely something that could potentially produce a tornado. Got a new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. Boom, bap, pop, pow, bang. Greatest short-term severe threat is in Wisconsin. This includes Platteville, Lone Rock, Madison, Monroe, Janesville, Waukesha, Lake Geneva, Milwaukee, and Racine. I guess the greatest short-term severe threat is just over here. 40% chance of a watch here for southern Wisconsin. Liz, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Newfie, thank you so much for the $1 donation. The storm is looking less and less significant, and then this one, it's like these two are like trying to play. When the one to the south starts to get weaker, this one to the north is like, hey, guess what? I'm here. It's my time. Then the one to the south gets stronger, and it's like, you know what? It's my time. They just kind of go back and forth. Hopefully they just go back and forth, and neither of them produce a tornado. Elaine, thank you so much for becoming a 5% channel member for 2 months, in fact. A lot of people asking about Iowa. We have one severe thunderstorm warning in Iowa. That is for Bellman, Clarion, Rowan, Lampter, and Hampton. This is just for 60-mile-per-hour winds. No severe hail or tornado possible with that. David, thanks so much for the $20 super chat. And Dorothy, thank you so much for the $1 super chat. This is something that we may see a tornado warning here for shortly. Sort of our two areas of rotation. Actually, that latest radar scan. Come on. Update. I promise you there's a velocity update for this that shows something more significant than this. We just haven't got it yet. I'm going to give it like 3 seconds, and then it's I'm going to drag it down. But there's probably a tornado on the ground with this. Okay, so I don't know why that's not updating. Here's my other program. Doesn't look as good. This is GR2. But tight rotational coupler. We were just talking about the storm off to the north. CC drop on that as well is a ZDR drop. 1, 2, 3. That adds up to 3 strikes. So that's a tornado on the ground here. Probably a unwarned. Well, it is unwarned, and it's probably a quick, significant tornado as well. So let's go ahead and take shelter if we're in this northern tornado warning. Basically, or not tornado warning, because it's not tornado warned yet. There's no one that's really going to be in this area, of course, but Donauer, Nodine, and probably north of Dakota. That is all areas that could see a tornado warning associated with this storm. Okay, there's that tornado warning. This is a radar-indicated tornado warning. It is not a radar-indicated tornado warning. It should be an observed tornado warning. So a tornado on the ground here to the northeast of Nodine. This includes Donauer, Dakota, and then in Wisconsin we have New Amsterdam and Bryce Prairie. It's going to go right across I-90. So if you're on I-90, get off of I-90. Preferably stop short of Dakota. If you're already in this tornado warning, get out of it. But don't go into it if you don't have to. Stop and pull over. I know there's an exit right here. Don't stop under an overpass. Pull off to the side of the road. There's that weird one that goes underneath the road that you can get off of here and basically park anywhere. Do that. And then there's a quick trip up here to the west of this warning before you go into the valley. Stop at that quick trip. Don't go into the tornado warning. This is local knowledge. I'm driving through this place 1.5 million times. I know the quick trip is, and I know the weird pull-offs that I always think, dang, that's a strange exit. Well, you should take that strange exit because there is a tornado on the ground. A lot weaker on that last scan. This is GR2 again. This is where our couplet was. Still a brief couplet or a weak couplet on it. Definitely not as significant as it was. If we back it up a scan, you can sort of see that it got really, really tight there. I saw a CC drop on it and it's starting to weaken out, but still could be a tornado on the ground there. Snap, thank you. Crosse, you guys are just barely in the severe thunderstorm warning. We tried to see it produce a tornado, or it did produce a tornado. We tried again, it didn't do it. It's looking like it's doglegging out now. This is our old area of rotation. You can kind of see it'll be that funky looking thing on radar. If we did get a new area of rotation, it'd be this part here. But our current tornado warning is off to the north of Crosse. Did this barely... I think this barely clips the county that Crosse is in, so unfortunately you're probably going to have EAS going off in Crosse. If you're watching from Crosse, welcome in. Not a tornado that's going to go through Crosse. Tornado warning in your county off to the north, but not a tornado on the ground. Honestly, I do think our tornado threat is starting to wane here. What city is Riley in from Minnesota? I'm not going to say the exact city, but it's in this circle. A lot of people know the exact city. Just not going to say it. I really don't care if people know it, because I don't live there anymore, but yeah. Look at this. This is what we call a seahorse. You see it? There's its body. There's its seahorse tail. Here's its head. That is a one-to-one drawing of a seahorse. And seahorse storms don't usually produce tornadoes. However, I think this one is producing a tornado. Look at that. It's going to be the first seahorse in the world to produce a tornado. So probably going to see another tornado warning here. This is going to be associated with what we talked about earlier. There's vorticity in the air, which just means a lot of air moving around. And we see that air moving around, and that causes a horizontal and vertical rotation. Right here, we're seeing vertical rotation, and that could potentially be a tornado from that. In fact, this is GR2 again. This is a tornado on the ground. We're going to do the same thing we just did. This is actually we got 4 of them. This is a low reflectivity debris ball. This is a velocity couplet. That's a CC drop. That's a ZDR drop. That's 4 strikes. 4 strikes, you're really out. That is a tornado on the ground coming towards Crosse. It's going to go, hopefully, it's going to go off to the south of Crosse. But this unwarned tornado will go north of Brownsville and south of Hoka. Hopefully we see a tornado warning. We did just get a tornado warning for this storm. This includes Bryce Prairie. Oh, no, that's the other one, I think. I don't know. Yeah, that's the other one. Probably going to be a tornado warning here shortly for our storm south of Crosse. We do have one for the storm to the north. This is no longer producing a tornado. However, this one is. In fact, it's a big one. Going to pull GR2 back down here. This is a massive debris ball on radar. All of this is not an area that would... There's no precipitation here. Everything you're seeing on here, these red pixels, especially on reflectivity, that is the tornado on the ground. So another unwarned tornado here in Minnesota. Hopefully it weakens here pretty quickly. Keep doing that. But as of now, this is a tornado on the ground, unwarned, going north of Brownsville, southeast of Hoka. Kelly, thanks so much for the $20 super chat. I'm going to just draw my own polygon quick here. If you're in this polygon here, there's a tornado on the ground, and it's coming towards you. So if you're in that polygon, go ahead and take shelter. Probably going to have a tornado warning on it shortly from the NWS, but for now, that is the area that you should be taking shelter in. tight couplet and a debris ball on radar. Tornado. Tornado. Right there. Got a continuation of our tornado warning to the north. Yeah, that is a strong debris ball on radar. It continues to be there on the latest scan. A little bit more precipitation in there, but still a CC drop, still debris in the air, still a tornado on the ground. He had a tight velocity couplet as well. It's probably another cone tornado, yes, but shape of it doesn't really matter. Either way, it is producing damage. And it's also still unwarned, but... So yeah, that's that latest radar scan. We can see that it's pulling more precipitation down into the area. That means it's got a really strong RFD, and a strong RFD that is going to be capable of producing a strong tornado. The velocity does look a little bit less coupled up. It's not tight. It's not as next to each other as it once was, but there's still rotation on it, and there's still debris signature. Hopefully it's just debris fallout, but either way, that is still a tornado or a storm that could potentially produce a tornado if it's not already. If you guys are on the river south of La Crosse, I know there's definitely people on the river right now, or if you know people who are on the river, if you're in this area, your best bet is to get to land, preferably somewhere where there's a marina. I know there's not much south of the dam here other than other stuff that we have, but or not other stuff, other than like that one area. But just get to shore. Please do not be on the water, like actively boating while there's a tornado going by. We're gonna hyper fixate like on this area here. We have all the backwaters. If you're on the backwaters, probably just start dropping south. Get more into the open water. The tornado is gonna go south of you. Can you tell roughly how large of it is? I mean, I can tell you maybe up to a mile wide. Is it a mile wide? Almost certainly not, but that's the area of rotation. And if we have all that rotational energy up in the air, that's 1 mile in diameter, and then it goes down to one tiny little point, guess what? That's a lot of centrifugal force or centrifugal rotational force that's going to be put in one small area. And that means it could be a strong tornado. Do you have a map of the chasers' locations? I do, however, I don't see any storm chasers that I can use at least that are on this storm as of right now. Still have that tornado warning off to the north. I'm not confident that there's a tornado warning or a tornado on the ground. In fact, I'm confident there's probably not right now. But yeah, we did just get that tornado warning, an observed tornado. I wonder if it's gonna be radar confirmed. A law enforcement confirmed tornado for this storm that's obviously had a tornado on the ground for the last 4 or 5 scans here. This tornado warning does clip the south side of La Crosse, Brownsville, Pleasant Valley, and Shelby in Minnesota, or I guess Wisconsin, and Brownsville's in Minnesota. But La Crosse, why don't we all go ahead and get in our safe spots? It's only in the southern portion of town, however, that we're in the tornado warning, so it doesn't hurt to practice your tornado shelter. This is going to cross the river soon. If you're in a boat and you can't get out of the tornado warning, please just head to land. It's the river. You don't want to get thrown out of your boat while you're on the river. The river is so much more dangerous than the lake. Just go to shore, park on shore, and do what you can to protect yourself. I know there's some amazing fishing spots in that area because I fished them, but now is not the time to be fishing them. And honestly, I've never heard anyone say anything about the right thing to do when you're in a boat in a tornado warning, but I'd probably say lay down in the boat, get into the deck, and let that boat be up above you. I mean, it's kind of like a bathtub, right? Unfortunately, it is outside, but your best bet is probably going to be laying down in that boat. Someone needs to research the best way to take shelter while in a boat, because that's definitely a real issue. Maybe trying to see a rotational couplet here, but probably not a tornado on the ground with that as of right now. We may have just had a brief tornado near High Point, Florida. Where is High Point, Florida? Gotta be over here, right? So this is near very populated area. Hmm. It's gonna be a bit hard to pinpoint exactly where it is. I think it was somewhere around here that probably would be our tornado. It's not on the ground anymore. It has lifted. But one of my analysts, or one of our analysts, sent me that. Now lifted tornado on the ground in a very populated area of Florida. No tornado on the ground now, at least. Hopefully. Maybe. See, this is strange, because we have something that looks like a CC drop, but there's not really any area on velocity here, and we're getting into that weird cone of silence. But we're going to assume that we do still have a tornado on the ground here. Lake City, the reason you are seeing tornado sirens is because you had a tornado warning. You don't now. But you did have one at one point. Do not have one now, though. New traffic cams? I'm working on new cameras. Okay, I do want to go back down to Florida. Sorry, I was talking to Max trying to get an update on his internet, but I think, yeah. People were talking about this again. This may potentially be another tornado on the ground in Florida. It's really hard to see on radar, but it might. Working on getting another chaser set up and pulling his location. Studios.com. opening up infinitely more media players. Kelly, thanks so much for the $20 donation. Okay, back to our 2 tornado warnings we have. This one did just get updated. This continues radar indicated in effect for 15 minutes. This is for New Amsterdam and Wisconsin, and our other tornado warning also still remains in effect. Don't think there's a tornado on either of these storms right now. What's the update on max velocity internet? I have still not gotten the magical text that his internet is back online. Like, we really, like, for those of you who are watching Max's stream and then came here, which I would imagine is a lot of you, we really did try anything we could. We got a Starlink dish, and we put it online, and we connected it to the hardware we have that sort of upgrades and combines a bunch of different internet connections, and that was showing, like, some issues with it, and we're like, okay, what? Like, what's going on here? And then we did reconnect it, and it seemed like it was working fine, but then, like, Starlink started doing something weird. I don't know. There's just a bunch of random issues with latency and syncing. So we sent everyone here. In the future, we will have like this random latency issues and everything sorted out. We just fell short on time today to get everything figured out. We didn't, like, you can't really expect a fiber line to be cut. All right. I have the chaser set up now, and if he sees anything, we'll have him pulled up. South Carolina, yeah, we do have storms over in South Carolina. These are mostly wind storms and maybe some very small hailstorms. These are downbursts, so a lot of 60-mile-per-hour wind and some up to ping pong ball sized hail that we have going on all across South Carolina, North Carolina, and parts of Georgia. Funny enough, we don't have a severe thunderstorm watch down here in Florida, Alabama, and Georgia, but there's a ton of severe thunderstorms in the region. Also just like downburst 60-mile-per-hour winds. This storm looks like it's going to try its absolute hardest to do the silly again. Actually, the velocity on this is 9 minutes old. Don't look at that. We're going back to this. Oops. We're going into the worst cone of silence of all time. Not even just the cone of silence, we're in the bluffs of silence. This is another storm that's not rotating right now, but I've had my eye on. It could potentially try and throw out a hook or something silly and attempt to produce a tornado. We're back down to 1 tornado warning, by the way. Just this one south of La Crosse. And other than that, these storms, though, look not that significant. I mean, we've talked about these over and over again. They just continue to be not interesting whatsoever. But while we're here and we have so many people watching from Minnesota and Wisconsin, I want to talk about tomorrow because Tomorrow may be a little bit of a sleeper day, in my opinion. So this is the 18Z HRRR. And obviously this is for the rest of the day, so this is from hours ago. This is what it was supposed to look like right now. It kind of doesn't really look like that. But these storms are actually going to die out here pretty soon. But tomorrow is something that I have my eye on because we have a 0% tornado risk from the SPC. However, I do not agree with that. And I think there's going to be at least a 2% tornado risk. In fact, a probably pretty significant wind risk across a large portion of Wisconsin and Minnesota. So we're basically going to have this large open warm sector here. And it's going to kind of just exist. It's going to drift off to our north more as well. And this is basically the same setup that we have today. And these storms could potentially produce tornadoes, especially these ones up in here. And right now we have a 0% tornado risk from the SPC. I do expect at least a 2% in the next outlook. And if we don't see at least a 2% in the next outlook, I would be like genuinely shocked that we would say no tornado threat is there. But that's your early, even before it's on the SPC outlook that there could be a tornado risk in Minnesota and Wisconsin tomorrow. What software are you using? I use a combination of Radar Omega and Radar Scope, or not Radar Scope, but GR2 version 3. Normally I have Radar Omega up because it looks really pretty, but when I want to do a deep dive, I pull this one up because it doesn't look pretty, but it's got a lot of great information on it. Hopefully, this storm is finally done, and it's not going to do any more silly business. But that tornado warning is in effect for another 9 minutes. I do want to mention quick, MSP, you guys are under a flash flood warning. Not raining there anymore, but we do have a lot of reports of flash flooding and roadways being flooded and vehicles being stranded. There's a jackknife semi there as well. So we have a flash flood warning for another hour and 23 minutes. The warning by Wisconsin Dells. Yes, we can look at that. Tornado possible tag on that is something that I've had an eye on in the background. It's really hard to see on velocity. It's kind of like in the middle of two radar sites and can't get a good eye on it. There's broad rotation. Oh, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Sorry, guys. I don't know why there's I don't know why it's so hard to see on reflectivity. It's just because it's so far from the radar sites, but we could see a tornado out of that storm, but we are not seeing one right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just made probably 6,000 people yawn. I have Pepsi upstairs, but pretty soon here, this is at least about the time that we saw the National Weather Service issue a severe thunderstorm warning about a cycle ago when they wanted the tornado warning to expire. So we're either going to see that happen soon or a cancellation of the severe thunderstorm warning. We do have another velocity couplet here. I would imagine that's probably mostly contamination, at least this one is. This one down here to the southwest of Harmony might be a slightly more legitimate couplet, so we could see a tornado warning for that. Remember, anything that's basically ahead of this line, I guess more so this line, could potentially produce a tornado. Luckily, we did have a very small window for tornadoes today, and hopefully we're almost done with it. Aksha, thanks so much for the $10 donation. Look, I have my Sam's Club Pepsi here, so no more yawning. My lights just flickered. Where are you watching from? If it's in Wisconsin or Minnesota, at least the southern portion of the two states, I can definitely believe it. Tanya, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. Can this rotational couple just go away? No more tornadoes. Be done. The area of rotation, in fact, has almost completely left this storm, and it's doing that dog leg thing again. So hopefully this time it actually dog legs and goes outflow dominant. I really pay attention to chat. I love chat. My chat was on top chat for the first half of the stream, so I missed a majority of the chats, which is annoying. That shouldn't even be a thing. I always want to look at live chat. But no, I was on top chat, so I did miss chats. But we're not on that anymore. Eau Claire, probably just rain tonight. Slight risk of flash flooding up there. Yeah, top chat is terrible. Live chat is where it's at. When do I graduate? Next May, hopefully. I will be. But we don't want to speak it out of existence. Possible land spout in Reedsburg. Where's Reedsburg at? Yeah, this is definitely a spot where we could definitely see a land spout. Unfortunately, the only way that we'd be able to tell for sure is if they issued a warning for that. I don't have any chasers there. Let me check this. I do not. I can pull like a majority of the chasers from Live Storms Media or Severe Studios. It's just there's nobody on them right now. I have a chaser in Lime Springs, Iowa, Brownsville, Minnesota. I have one over near, where is that? Hebron, Wisconsin. And then I have a couple down in Nebraska, but none of them have anything right now. I also use SRM, but I don't think SRM doesn't even have their feet on anymore, actually. Let me pull up my reports here. A lot of flooding reports. I don't see any new tornado reports. Kane, thanks so much for that $10 super chat. Thoughts on southern or southeast Wisconsin tonight? So hopefully the storms are going to dissipate by the time they get there, at least tornado-wise. They really, really should. I don't like to curse anything, but there could still be gusty winds and small hail in the area. Especially from like these few outflow boundaries that we have right here. If these outflow boundaries sort of crash into each other, we could see a storm spin up. Not going to look like that. No, you know what? It is going to look like that. It was a perfect one-to-one drawing. But, yeah, we could see some gusty winds there and small hail. Not a large tornado threat, though. Continue to stream some sort of weird, like, bookend vortex-looking thing here. Our tornado warning in Minnesota and Wisconsin will be allowed to expire in 2 minutes. Then we'll be down to no tornado warnings. We do still have 41 severe thunderstorm warnings, though. We have one. We have one tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. Is that this one? Yeah, it is. So our tornado warning has been allowed to expire. That means we're down to 0 tornado warnings. Astrius, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Yeah, I'm glad that like YouTube has the raid feature now, because it used to like not have that, and we would have been like in between a rock and a hard place where literally no one could do coverage. try and find a different camera. Got one. Got an I-90 camera instead of another random Minnesota camera. Minnesota barely in the thread anymore. So this is a WIS-DOT camera. This is I-90 at Wisconsin 131. From the Wisconsin 511. There's over here near Toma, I believe. If I can find it on the map. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere over here. Look at this. It's like trying to dogleg and have an inflow notch at the same time. I don't like this storm. L storm. No fun. Dave, thanks so much for the kind words. You think tornadoes are just waiting for Max to come back? Hopefully, because then Max can just never go live again and we'll never have a tornado warning again, right? That'd be sad. Then we'd never get to talk to you guys. That weird bookend thingy is appearing to not bookend anymore. We're down to no severe thunderstorm warnings in our tornado watch as well. I don't think we even... I think most of our warnings are down here in the south now. We have 1, 2 in Illinois and Wisconsin. Then in Florida and wherever down here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like a ton. You can tell we're in the summer because we just have random severe thunderstorm warnings scattered everywhere. Like this random one that looks like it could try and do something funny. South of Sundance in Wyoming. Tornado Pagey and Bryce Shelton are actually almost on that storm. If they get closer to that, we will pull them up. Oastress, thanks so much for the $50 super chat. Max's internet company actually doesn't deserve to be paid because it does not take like 14 hours to fix a fiber line. Like, how can you have such a messed up connection that it takes you 14 hours to fix a fiber line? I've dealt with fiber before, and let me tell you, it does not take that long. These storms are continuing to already look less and less concerning and significant. Part of Alabama are the storms located in? Extreme southeastern Alabama. It's honestly looks more like a flash flooding concern to me than a severe thunderstorm concern. Kind of just see stuff dancing along our boundary there. Honestly, just some gusty downburst-esque winds. Continuing to just scan for tornado couplets, and I'm not seeing much. Thank God. Seeing a lot of 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts out of Florida. None of the convection over here, by the way, is like looking tornado-y. And I mean, it's not in our 2%, so it's not surprising. This does, however, like this storm near Wisconsin Dells, this does look like something that could try to spin up a land spout. I mean, the environment's there for it to produce a land spout. I know I have cameras over there. Looking for a pretty good camera view of the storm. See anything on any of these though? Take this one. Just need like a drone to go out there and look at this thing. Okay, I need to copy the camera location. This is another 511 camera from Wisconsin. Is this camera right here? So this camera is basically in Wisconsin Dells. I guess just to the south of Wisconsin Dells. Augie, thanks so much for the $2 super chat. It's still like only these two storms that I think have any potential, or I guess technically any of these could try and spin up, including this one. We'll get this guy in there too. But it's like these two sort of prefrontals, even though they're not really prefrontals, ahead of the line that could spin up tornadoes. I mean, we might see something back in the line. It's just, I've seen stuff attempt to try it, it just doesn't do it. Stevens Point, you're not going to get any, at least you shouldn't get any severe weather tonight. We will see a risk for flash flooding now. A lot of this area off to the north, you're going to see a lot of this moisture kind of flung up into you along the front, and it's just going to rain, 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 rain. Welcome in from Caledonia. We did see a cancellation of the severe thunderstorm warning that was over here near Rockford. I do agree with that. How's it going, Michelle? Chicago, you guys are good. You guys are good. Continuing to see a lot of not very concerning convection over here as well. Just got a new severe thunderstorm warning up here for ping pong ball sized hail in South Dakota. Look at the tops on these storms, my lord. It's insane. Definitely a decent display, or pretty crazy display of Mamatis going on. Anywhere underneath a lot of these massive overshooting tops, you'll be able to see those, especially like these ones up here. This radar sight on? Not really. I mean, it's on, but ain't doing much. Velocity quick. Yeah, ain't much going on there. Our 5% tornado risk is like almost completely chalked at this point. Ain't gonna be much going up in there. Much going on up in there. You just have like, once again, these random severe thunderstorms. A lot of you guys out here know like it's been hot and it's not hot anymore. But now it's just like 74 over 74. It's like that could just pop up a thunderstorm just cause. I don't know where you guys are watching from, but like here over the last 5 days, it's been hot. Like hot. Like I don't want to go outside hot. I don't want to do anything hot. It felt like 107 outside. Like I'm in Wisconsin, bro. Why does it feel like 107? I'm not in Texas. I'm not in Florida. Yeah, how hot was it like in the last 5 days from wherever you guys are watching? Just put all the temperatures in the chat in Fahrenheit. The heat indices, if you will. And we have people watching from the UK too, so I guess you guys can do Celsius. 105 is the leader. 110. Another 110. 111. -2. Bro's watching from the moon. So another 111. 117 in Phoenix. That's hot. Like, that is hot. Look at all these just severe thunderstorm warnings in South Carolina and North Carolina. We got like a warnings are us outbreak going on down here. Are there any possible tornadoes for the Reidsville, Georgia area tonight? I'm assuming you said Georgia. No, there's not. 0% tornado risk in Georgia. All this like convection that we're seeing here in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. It's not tornadic. Like, it's just downburst winds. So we're going to see winds 60, 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour, but no tornadoes. I think the highest we've seen today was honestly like 68, I want to say. There may have been 170, but I haven't seen like any of those 70 plus wind gusts. At least as of yet. I see like a 59. I see a 40, 43, 58. Like, it is definitely not as windy as it could have been, and that's obviously a good thing. But we do still have this filthy QLCS. It's going to have gusty winds associated with it moving through the... I guess just got through the Myrtle Beach area, and it's actually moving off to the southwest, I want to say. Yeah, moving southwest at 30. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning out here ahead of it. So that is for 70 mile per hour winds. This is our, I think, our highest severe thunderstorm warning that we have right now in terms of intensity. I have two more considerables as well off to the northwest of Columbia, South Carolina. It's got another one. This is for a 60 mile per hour winds. We are seeing damage pictures out of Largo, Florida, where we had a possible tornado earlier that we talked about briefly. It was over here in this area here. A severe thunderstorm warning for that area now. Never saw a tornado warning. But it does look like there is damage from a trailer park coming out of that area. Back up here in Minnesota, none of this looks like it's producing a tornado at this time. Actually, I take that back. There is a tornado on the ground. Literally the exact scan I say that. There's a tornado warning for it. We have a tornado warning on, or tornado on the ground right here to the northeast of Shelby. This storm has done it again and produced a tornado. This severe thunders, or this tornado warning includes the towns of Bangor, Leon, and Portland. Let's go ahead and take shelter if we're in Sparta as well. This is a tornado on the ground. Oh, you have chaser confirmation of this being on the ground. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. However, it is on the ground. We can see it on CC. We can see it on ZDR. There's a strong couplet as well. This radar does give you a very good view of that. You can see that we almost certainly have a tornado on the ground. We got the couplet, we got the reflectivity, got the CC drop, and the ZDR. We said this once earlier, 4 strikes and you're definitely out. Definitely a tornado on the ground. Multiple pictures and videos of this tornado are coming in. If we have anyone on that. I don't think we have anyone on that, unfortunately. We are hearing more reports that there was a tornado earlier in Seminole. This is in Wisconsin, just off to the west of La Crosse. Just got a new mesoscale discussion. I'm working on finding that. Multiple pictures of this tornado coming in. A lot of them, actually. Doesn't look like an overly strong tornado, but it definitely could be. It's lofting debris. So, tornado on the ground right here. It's going to go off to the north of St. Joseph and the southeast of Barrel Mills, or Bar Mills in Wisconsin. Let me do this and pull up, CC on this side of the things. You can see the CC drop right here. That is our tornado. I do think this is the only storm that has any tornado potential. I mean, it surprised us like few times now. It just keeps managing to cycle and produce a tornado. Yep, Sparta, the tornado sirens are going to be going off. That is because of this storm. And this tornado is probably going to take a path somewhat like this. It should go south of Sparta. However, it could occlude off to the north. Continuing to see this on the ground via radar. Pull up CC again so you can see it. That is our... Zoom in. That is our tornado. Right there. Still on the ground. You can see it on reflectivity. It's got a huge inflow region. Nice strong RFD. This is a significant tornado probably. So be taking shelter. Still a radar indicated tornado warning. It's not radar indicated. This is a confirmed tornado via both storm chasers and on radar. We will see an upgrade to that warning here. We will probably see a warning upgrade to that here shortly. La Crosse, you may be hearing the tornado sirens for this. I really do not think that there is any tornado potential for that area. We may actually have another tornado trying to spin up down here just to the southeast of the radar site. However, it's like too close to tell. But just to be safe, we're going to assume that there may be 2 tornadoes on the ground in this warning. You guys are obviously already under a warning, so it doesn't matter. We don't need another one. But this is our current tornado that we have to the northwest of St. Joseph's and southeast of Bar Mills. We can see the hook on radar. We can see the CC drop. We can see the velocity. It's certainly a tornado. The radar program isn't updating. W. This tornado is heading towards the town of Leon. It should go north of Middle Ridge, and it should go south of Bangor and Rockland, but we're going to be in shelter either way. Luckily, I'm decently sure that there's not too many people who live here, so that is, of course, a good thing, but be taking shelter if you're in this tornado warning. Definitely still continues to be a tornado on the ground on a correlation coefficient. You'll see that right here. Strong inflow region, it's going to keep producing. We've seen this thing cycle like 4 times now, so we did just get an upgrade to that tornado warning. This is now a confirmed tornado warning. This is a radar confirmed tornado. It's also been confirmed by chasers as a tornado on the ground. So no questions about it now. We're going to be taking shelter. Yeah, by the way, we are up to like 30 severe or 40 severe warnings now. But keeping an eye on this tornado warning, because this is our only tornado warning. We do still have widespread severe storms going on across our tornado watch and down in our severe thunderstorm watch in South Carolina and North Carolina, but this is our only tornado warning that we have as of right now. Northern Illinois, no tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings there anymore. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning, however, it's been allowed to expire. Guys, I'm not seeing any storm chasers on this. Jill, Stevens Point is going to be all good. Yeah, we have chasers down here. We have chasers over here. And we have chasers over here. But no chasers are on this warning right now. It's kind of like a jump scare 5%. Like, it's not something that a lot of people, I think, were looking at. There's definitely the chance that, or there's definitely like always a chance that what we are seeing happen was going to happen all day. But this 5% came out kind of late, and I think a lot of people missed it. We'll flip CC back on real quick just to show you that this is almost certainly still a tornado that's on the ground. We can see the CC drop right there and the area of increased reflectivity. Seeing pictures of this tornado, I'm going to see if I can get credit to share one of these. I did repost that. We're still waiting on permission to show that, but that is something that I did repost. But yeah, definitely a tornado on the ground here. Waiting to hear back. Latest scan, still a tornado on the ground. See if Hunter thanks so much for the $2 donation. This tornado is headed north of Middle Ridge and south of Bangor. Update from Max, by the way. He doesn't have one fiber cut. Apparently, his ISP has told him that there's 2 fiber cuts. If you ask me, that sounds like an excuse, because what are the odds of getting 2 fiber cuts in one day? But, yeah. That's our update with Max's internet. Bro, why is Nightbot being mean and timing people out? Kendra, don't listen to Nightbot. Nightbot's mean. We covered this last stream. I'm waiting for this area of rotation to come out of the cone of silence, but this area of rotation is something that could also have a tornado on it as well. Once it's a little further off to the east, I'll show you that on radar, but St. Joseph and Middle Ridge, we could see another tornado warning for this part of the storm as well. So we should be taking shelter now, because St. Joseph, if we do see a tornado warning for that area, it might be a little too late if we wait for that. So we're going to go ahead and take shelter now. And there is now almost, like, certainly a tornado. But let me show you this. This is what it looks like on GR2. You can see this is where we may have a CC drop. However, we're just in the scattered, like, radar beam area because we're so close to the radar site. There's a couplet on it as well. And, I mean, it looks hooky. It's just, it's just too close to the radar to be, like, 100% sure. But I can tell you that I'm 99% sure that there's a tornado on the ground with that. Gen 2 on, thanks so much for the $2 super chat. I don't know if I already said that. I might have. Who knows? Well, we will see what the National Weather Service thinks of that. They've been pretty quick here with the warnings in La Crosse if they think it's an observed tornado. So we may see 2 radar-confirmed tornadoes possibly. This is the mesoscale discussion that we saw from the Storm Prediction Center, and they did agree that this area that we've been talking about is where our tornado threat will persist, where we have our supercells south of the warm front. And that's basically where we're seeing it produce tornadoes right now. Tornado, at least, maybe tornadoes. But this is for tornadoes up to 115 miles per hour in intensity and wind gusts of up to 70. No hail, funny enough. I'm decently confident now that we do have 2 tornadoes on the ground, one of which is technically unwarned because, well, it's in a warning, but the warning is for a different area of rotation, but we will probably see 2 tornado warnings here shortly. Checking to see if we have permission to share that. I don't think we do yet. But yeah, there is definitely a tornado on the ground with one of these storms. Almost certainly a tornado on the ground with both of these. So I'll draw my own box. Oop, I wanted to turn this off first. This is probably where we should be in shelter if we're in any of these areas. Because we have one tornado here and another tornado here. Not technically twins, because they're associated with different areas of the storm, but we could say twins. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's still potentially 2 tornadoes. We may see a localized extension to our tornado watch. I sort of doubt it, but we may. It'd probably include these counties here. Still continuing to probably see 2 tornadoes on the ground. One of which does still remain unwarned. This one has been allowed to continue as an observed tornado warning. This is not tornado warning talk, but an update from the Weather Prediction Center. Flash flooding risk possible in South Dakota. We may see a localized amount of over 3 inches. 3 inches is a lot of rain and can lead to significant flash flooding. Latest radar scan, I am hopeful that at least our tornado in the northern portion here has lifted, but still think that this one to the south could be on the ground. Slightly more questionable on both of them, though. This is long-term. There's like convection heading towards Madison, but Madison is going to look way different by the time it gets to you. Wonder if NWS Lacrosse has had their fiber cable cut too. You know, I don't know exactly where the NWS Lacrosse office is, but there's a chance that they may be in this tornado warning. And if they're in the tornado warning or like clipped by the tornado warning in some way, shape, or form, they do have to take shelter. Wonder who issued this. Was it NWS Lacrosse? It was Lacrosse. They didn't have other people issuing warnings for them, so I don't think they're in shelter, but they could be. Lauren, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. For people asking about South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, yeah, we do still have a bunch of, or all the way into Mississippi now. We do have a bunch of scattered storms going on down there. No tornado risk. These storms over here, specifically these 2 areas of rotation, are really our only tornado risk. Yeah, shout out to Pepsi. Coke's better than Pepsi, but gotta live with what you have. Hopefully, we're done with tornadoes, but like I've said that 4 times. Max is mentioning that this area here could be trying. Let me pull this radar down. This area here could be trying. There is definitely a region of inflow. And looks like there may be a hook on it. I am hopeful that this is an outflow boundary. Ooh. I am hopeful that this is an outflow boundary that we see on radar that would inhibit this area from producing a tornado, but it is something that definitely could still try. But hopefully, the outflow keeps that from happening. But that's something to keep an eye on. Kind of see like this boundary here. It's working its way off to the south. And if that is the inflow that our area that's trying to wrap up here is taking in, hopefully it's rain cooled enough to where it doesn't try and spin up a tornado. But this is still in our isolated or our area that does have a higher tornado potential. We might have camera there. No, we do not. Darn it, I thought we did. This tornado warning has been swapped over to a radar indicated tag. That is something that I agree with. It does not look like either of these areas of rotation are as significant as what they used to be, or producing a tornado right now. I'm going to take this time. I have to take like a 60-second break and use the restroom. And hopefully there's no spin-up tornadoes before I get back. I'm back. Stop the clock. That was pretty good. And it's radar indicated. Amazing. Wow, look at that. I'm speed. Got a new camera sent to us that I'm going to work on putting in. Definitely got some wind going on this camera. This is I-90 at I-43 in Wisconsin. Code Brown. Code Brown is wild. Ain't no Code Brown. That'd be the world's fastest. Antoine says, go get a butter burger from Culver's and a drink from Dollar General. That should get things amped up. We don't want things amped up. Amped up equals bad. The less that's amped up, the better. Got a special weather statement for our area here, south of 2 areas that could produce a spin-up tornado for gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour. Seems like it's windy where you're at too. It ain't too windy. It is raining here though. I forgot I honestly had that open. This storm, man, like we've been talking about this thing, I swear, the whole day. Hopefully the convection has finally caught up to it and killed its ability to produce a tornado. I mean, we did talk about how like the convection behind it was like catching up to the supercell, and the supercell is going to be able to stop producing tornadoes. Hopefully that has happened. We are yet to see anywhere of our QLCS line produce a tornado today. It's all been stuff ahead of that. Yeah, look how windy it is above my head. Got some damage reports here. Got a 51 mile per hour wind gust out of Wyoming. Hail in Florida, thunderstorm damage in Iowa, thunderstorm damage in South Dakota, and a 62-mile-per-hour wind gust. It's really dang windy. That camera, by the way, is down here near Janesville. In our 60-mile-per-hour wind warning. I believe it's right here. That's actually not on our tornado warning, but still. It's near Beloit. Here's another area of interest down here. So we talked about this outflow boundary before and how it was hopefully going to inhibit this area from spinning up a tornado. Well, there's another outflow boundary here, and it's actually caused this area of the line to surge out. That is actually associated with a little bit of an area of increased velocity. So this area is something that we have to watch to maybe spin up a tornado here, as there's just extra vorticity in the air from a storm interacting with another storm's outflow boundary and all of that. But this up here continues to look not overly significant. Ian, thanks so much for becoming a 30 hatch channel member. I don't know if we have a single 30 hatch. That's a high risk, by the way. And Alicia, thanks so much for the $2 on Cash App. And Edward, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. Increased velocity, would you say max velocity? I don't think we're to max velocity yet, but we can go with like marginal velocity. Yeah, it's definitely going to start calming down in La Crosse now. Hopefully you guys are done with the severe weather there. By the way, anything further than like this, it does look like all of this is outflow dominant. So this shouldn't produce a tornado. It's honestly like this area, like these areas here, where we kind of have two embedded supercells. This one small area here that may or may not go away very soon, and this area here. Only two of which are really tornado warned right now. We did get permission to show this picture from Holden. This was the tornado that occurred near La Crosse. This is from MNHLDN on Twitter. And you can see this is probably the early stages of it, but that is definitely a ground contact and a funnel above it. This was our tornado that occurred near La Crosse, Wisconsin. That is not current. That was a little while ago, but a tornado nonetheless. For all the people who are questionable whether or not that was a tornado, that looks to me like it almost certainly was a tornado. Not almost certainly, it just certainly was a tornado. Gotta queue up my next camera here. So the next camera we have is also on that southern severe thunderstorm warning here near Janesville. This one's a little bit to the north of the one that we have in right now. But this is near Beloit and Janesville. No tornadoes possible there, just 60-mile-per-hour winds, but it's still a severe thunderstorm warning, and it could be producing some wind damage. Really strange because our radar is in sales, which means that we should be getting frequent radar updates, but I haven't seen a radar update for the last 15, or not 15, the last 5 minutes. But this is on Radar Mega, and I'm looking at GR2 as well, and we also have no radar update there. Like, I think you guys can just barely see it down here, but where it says sales, it said sales 0.5, and the thing was spinning, which normally means, like, hey, the radar beam's like, it's going out. It's spinning around. It's taking an idea or getting a look at what's going on around there, but it never popped up. Like, I never got that radar update. My app says the radar station is offline. I mean, it's been at least KARX, that's the NWS radar in La Crosse. It provided an update 5 minutes ago, so I wouldn't say it's offline. It just hasn't updated in a while. If this does go out, that would be pretty annoying because we have basically nothing else to look at these storms with. I do see that KILX is down. Where's KILX? That's this one here. KILX is down. KCRP is down. And KDIX is down. And KHNX is down, and RODN's down. So 4 radar sites are down, or 5 radar sites are down, but it's not this one. We did just get a radar update as we were talking about that, though. And it revealed absolutely nothing going on. I lied. There's a tornado on the ground here. So this is the area that we talked about literally like, what, a few minutes ago? You know what we're going to do? We're going to do this good old thing again. Pull this up. We do have a CC drop. We do have a velocity couplet. We don't really have a ZDR drop, but it's an area of high reflectivity. That means 3 strikes and you're out. So this is a tornado on the ground here to basically along the Minnesota-Iowa border. It's in between New Albin and Edson. So that's another unwarned tornado on the ground that is right here. It's actually behind our line. It's pulling in inflow from the back somehow, I think, and spinning up a tornado along the border. So hopefully we see a tornado warning for this. That tornado warning is going to look something like this. It is going to probably include this right there. It's going to include in Minnesota, C. Jefferson, in New Albin, in Iowa. And then in Wisconsin, it's going to include Victory, Romance, and Redmount. Also, Newton, Purdy, and West Prairie, you guys are all confirmed, or you guys are all in this tornado warning. This is an observed tornado warning, a radar-confirmed tornado. They're looking at the exact same thing we are, and that is that CC drop here. If you didn't see that CC drop, I can pull it again up. I can pull it up again right here next to reflectivity. This is our tornado that we have on the ground. So, unfortunately, in C. Jefferson and New Albin, you guys are both in the path of this tornado. It could go through either town and or actually affect both of them. Haven't seen NWS Tornado post this yet on Twitter. But this is another tornado that we have on the ground, this time back in Minnesota. It's like the only area north of the outflow boundary, and it's managing to spin up a tornado. I'm trying to figure out how much people are in this tornado warning, but I haven't gotten the update on Twitter. There it is. There are 1,795 people in this confirmed tornado warning. And yes, this is a tri-state tornado warning. It's not the tri-state tornado that you guys are thinking about, but it is a tri-state tornado warning. It's already starting to weaken out and look less significant. I'll pull up that CC drop. It's sort of broadened out. Looks more like debris fallout. This is like This will update in like 30 seconds, hopefully, but it looks more like debris fallout and less like a tornado. So hopefully this tornado has been or has lifted, and then we're just seeing debris fallout on radar. I'll drag this down here real quick. This is what that looks like on radar. It's not as deep as a CC drop, and the couplet does look a little weaker as well. Still definitely could be a tornado, but hopefully it's not. Either way, we're going to be taking shelter if we are in this tornado warning, because it could be a tornado. Well, it was a tornado, and it still could be a tornado. So once again, I've said it a million times, but C. Jefferson and New Albany be in shelter. I don't think we have basements around here because we're so close to the river and we have that close to the ground water table. But if you don't have a basement, take shelter in something like the most interior room, perhaps a closet. If you have an interior bathroom that's not connected to any outside walls, you can sit in your bathtub, put your bike helmet on. You might think it sounds funny, but it can actually save your life when there's flying debris. And pull a blanket over you or something. Throw your mattress on top of that bathroom and just get in that bathroom. Get in that bathtub and just stay safe. If you're in a mobile home, honestly, you're better off leaving your mobile home. Even a 60 to 70 mile per hour winds can 60 to 70 mile per hour winds can destroy a mobile home. It's safer to be not inside a mobile home during a tornado warning than it is to be inside of it. Kyle, the reason that I am live and Max is not is Max's internet company supposedly has 2 fiber line cuts. Still doesn't logically make sense to me, because how can you have 2 fiber line cuts? Just looking at the storm to the north quick, we're going to keep the radar that you guys are looking at on that storm to the south, just because that is the one with our tornado on the ground. But it doesn't look like we have any couplets or imminent tornadoes on those storms as of right now. Still just this storm near New Albany and C. Jefferson. This is our tornado right here. You can actually see it pulling an inflow from the backside of that storm. Check if we have anyone on it. I extremely doubt we do, because that's kind of been the theme of today, is that nobody is on these things. But yeah, nobody on it. This tornado does continue to be on the ground, this time south of C. Jefferson, or I guess potentially on the ground. Hopefully it is debris fallout. Luckily, it does look like it's actually going in between where the 2 towns are, if this is our CC drop. This looks more like debris fallout just because our area of rotation is still further off to the, or where our tornado was is still further off to the west. So hopefully we don't have a tornado on the ground, but the debris that is falling out seems to be going in between the 2 towns, instead of impacting one of them specifically. Still continues to be a couplet on this storm, however. Threading the needle? Well, hopefully there's no needle to be threaded, and this just isn't a tornado that's on the ground. But if it is, it did hopefully thread the needle. Tornado Pagey is back out here on our storms that we have in South Dakota and Wyoming, where there's no official 2% tornado risk, but I would go ahead and say there is like a 2% tornado risk for this area. Don't see any pictures of this thing. We do actually have another tornado warning. We'll talk about this one real quick. Not in the U.S. It's in Saskatchewan. For our storm that we have over here, you can see that definitely has an inflow region on it. And if there's a tornado, it'd be somewhere in here. That is a good old Environmental Canada tornado warning that encompasses like 1 million different areas. That's in effect for the next hour. Latest radar scan, it looks like this tornado has hopefully lifted. Continues to be just a bunch of stuff falling out of the sky on radar back by where we knew that our tornado was down. It would be all up in here. But it does not appear like there is a tornado on the ground. I'll flip over to velocity real quick, and you can see that there is actually still a decent couplet on it. I wonder, hold on, 19. Yeah, this radar, or this velocity scan is a few minutes behind. This is what the most current one looks like. And you can see that there's not that a strong couplet that we used to have on the storm. Ignore that couplet. It's out of date. Still continues to be an observed tornado warning, though, for Victory, Romance, Red Mound, Purdy, Newton, and West Prairie. We're going to be in shelter if we're in any of those tornado warnings. Or, I guess you are in the tornado warning, so you're going to be in shelter. They just upgrade that to radar indicated. So I don't know why we, like, trimmed this area out of here, because, like, this area, like, if there was a tornado, like, you're still definitely involved in that risk. But they've trimmed it to the Wisconsin border, I think, on purpose to stop the sirens in Minnesota. But this tornado warning still does include Victory, Red Mound, West Prairie, Purdy, and Newton. It's a radar indicated warning now in effect for another 18 minutes. Back up here to the north, it does look like we may be trying to see another tornado spin up here north of Norwalk, Wisconsin. This is the Crosse, and this is where we may be seeing a tornado spin up. Keep an eye on this area. I need a different color pen. Keep an eye on this area right here. You can see over those last few radar scans, it does look like we do have something trying to develop. Could be a tornado down on this as soon as next scan, so let's be ready for that if we are in the north of Norwalk, Wisconsin area. Nothing down as of now. Could be soon. Got a new radar update. And it looks like there's still nothing down on that region in the south. And we can see that our region in the north is now 100% inside this tornado warning polygon. And also there is nothing on the ground associated with that storm. Still a broad area of rotation, however. Columbia, South Carolina will roll down there real quick. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for 60-mile-per-hour winds. And that's associated with this area of precipitation that we have. No tornadoes are going to come out of this. But I could see small hail, torrential downpours, and gusty winds. Want METARs turned on. All right, there we go. Just got a new severe thunderstorm warning here near Janesville. We'll talk about that in a second. But before we do that, I want to talk about where our warm front is. So our storms, in order to produce a tornado, kind of have to be not really past the warm front. It looks like this one actually is. So hopefully we don't see much of a tornado threat out of that in the near future. This is a tornado possible storm near Janesville now. We have 2 storms there, all over I-90 and I-43. Basically anywhere from Milton, Fulton, and all the way over to Elkhorn. It looks like this split, this part down here is latched to the boundary. This could potentially produce a tornado. I think we actually do have storm chasers on these storms. Actually do not see any storm chasers on these storms right now. That is unfortunate. Let me refresh just to make sure. Yeah. I know we do have storm chasers in the area. It doesn't seem like any of those are on those storms as of now, but if they are, we will go ahead and pull those guys up. Vince Welty is somewhere in one of those areas. I think we're able to use his feed. Still don't see any tornadoes down as of now on any of our storms, unwarned or not. So we are almost out of our 5% tornado risk, and I mean, today's event really sort of hits a wall eventually and stops producing tornadoes, so hopefully we've hit that wall. Check in on Canada. I've heard that this storm has a CC drop on it. I don't think that's a tornado CC drop. I do know Canadian radars do look a little bit different than US, but I would imagine that this is associated with the hail core and not a tornado. Because if there's a tornado, it should be somewhere over in here. But there's definitely could be a tornado with this storm if we turn velocity on. We can see that there's a strong area of rotation. It is a Canadian radar, so it does look a little silly. But we could have a tornado headed towards Waseca and Maidstone in Saskatchewan. This might be trying to spin up another tornado. It's not doing it right now, but it still looks suspicious. It's intriguing. It's puzzling. It's curious. Trying to think of more adjectives, and I don't have any, but yeah. I think you get the gist of it. Peculiar. Did I say that one? If not, that is a great. That's normally one I have. But Gonna have to start my own storm channel and get all my friends, strap some equipment on cars, and we're gonna do some vacation making that money. As somebody who has storm chase, let me assure you that it is not a profiting business to get into. Like, do not start storm chasing, think you're gonna make a ton of money, because you don't. Gas is expensive. I storm chased for like 2 weeks, and I'm pretty sure I spent like 1.5 grand on gas. I don't know, it was something ridiculous. I did make like $900 streaming, and I think a few hundred off media sales, but still, it's like, don't go into storm chasing thinking you're gonna be profiting a ton, because you won't. Trust. Still just have one tornado warning, and we are like drastically dropping the amount of severe thunderstorm warnings that we had. You guys can't see the number there, but it is 20. If you were here earlier, we had like 45, I think, at one point. So, starting to quiet down out there. We're down to, of course, one tornado warning, and I don't know if we have any tornado possible. No, we do have one tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. That is two, actually. I think both of those are down here. Yeah. Takes years and a few lucky breaks. It definitely does. AJ, thanks so much for the $10. It says I'm a Max Velocity subscriber. Just wanted to thank you for your extra work today. Normally, this is something that I do behind the scenes, but obviously Max had major internet issues, like extreme ball drop by his internet provider. We did what we could to try and fix it, but for whatever reason, Starlink and the combination of whatever cell stuff we have wouldn't behave. We tried to set stuff up really quickly, which obviously rarely works out. We were hoping it would. It didn't. Tried streaming on just Starlink alone. It still ran into the same latency issues, causing desync on YouTube and drop frames. We did like literally everything we could, just didn't work out. We did just get an expiration of our tornado warning, so we are down to no tornado warnings and 2 tornado possible severe thunderstorm warnings. I would imagine that this one here that expires in 7 minutes is going to be allowed to expire and or be canceled, and this one that expires in 22 minutes honestly doesn't look like it could really spin up a tornado anytime soon. You can see that it's rather tame on velocity, but due to how close they are to the boundary, they could like definitely try something. I'm going to stay clicked on these storms, because literally every single time we've clicked off these storms, like, they produce a tornado. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to give them that opportunity. We're not going to give them that chance. Stars fan, thanks so much for the $10 donation. Toma, Wisconsin, yeah, it's getting dark. Severe thunderstorm is on the way. It's warned with I guess not technically warned, but there's a special weather statement for that storm as of right now, and it's for 40-mile-per-hour winds. I would not be surprised if it's higher than that. How'd you make your alert system and warning count? I coded it by myself in Python. Hence why you can see it's completely customized and it says lay tornado instead of tornado. Adding lay in front of everything makes it instantly more lighthearted. Lacrosse, yes, you guys are good. You guys are done for the day, finally. Omaha looks sus. We'll go down and take a look at Omaha. First things first, I do see this massive outflow boundary, which hopefully would keep anything from producing a tornado. Let me do this, and we can see that although there is a dangly bit on it, it does not look like it's got any sort of rotation on it. None of this really looks like it's got rotation on it. So, shouldn't see any tornadoes there. Although it's not technically impossible. Elf, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. By the way, guys, we did just hit 31,000 subscribers too, apparently. We hit 30,000 and 31,000 in the same day. 31% of that way to that silver play button. Thank you to so much, or thank you so much to the 70,000 of you who's tuned in today. Like, this is literally the most viewed stream I've ever had. I know it kind of came at bad circumstances. I'm just glad that we were able to do something. I mean, there's literally no one else out there that does what Max and I does, where even if one person can't stream, we'll kick it over to the other and always have somebody live, at least with a real person. But even in the face of like Max not having internet, we were still able to have coverage from the one of us. You're randomly recommended my Facebook profile? Dude, I don't even know how to log into Facebook. Like, I know I have a Facebook profile. I have no idea how that app works. Daniel, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. We'll go take a look at South Carolina. So, South Carolina, we have severe thunderstorm warnings. I believe these are considerable. No, these are down to 60-mile-per-hour winds. All of these are. These are just associated with the areas of showers that we have going on. These are moving to the southwest, and these are moving to the south-southeast. But these are all producing like hail up to half-dollar size. Probably not, honestly, that. But probably some like quarter-inch sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Like the rain shower going on here. Do sirens go off for flash flood warnings? They do not. Sirens normally only go off for tornado warnings and destructive severe thunderstorm warnings. In some situations, sirens will go off for considerable severe thunderstorm warnings. However, that is fully up to the discretion of the local EMS people who basically run the tornado sirens. I want to give a massive shout out to Tony Payne with the $75 super chat. You didn't have to do that. You do excellent. I'm a subscriber to you and Max. Well, first off, thank you so much for the support. It's because of people like you that both Max and I are able to be here as much as we are. Don't see any areas that look like they're going to try and spin up finally, so... Last time I said that, didn't go well. Sparta, I do not think we're going to see any tornadoes go through Sparta, Wisconsin. Where are Max and you? I'm in Wisconsin, and Max is certainly not in Wisconsin. He's in Florida. We're in two very, very different portions of the country. Madison, Wisconsin, you guys are barely inside the 2% tornado risk. This line is like going to get there eventually. However, the tornado risk is going to be much less significant than it is now. And it's honestly probably going to be pretty close to zero. So hopefully we don't see anything in that area. Just got a, by the way, saw a video of that tornado in Largo, Florida that got sent to me. Sent to me by one of my analysts. I'm going to see if we are going to be able to share this on the stream. But this is something we talked about, unfortunately, like a minute after touchdown. We weren't looking at Florida, but one of our analysts did notice it was on the ground and sent it over to us. So we're working on getting permission to share that. And if we get permission to share that, I will show you guys that video. But we definitely had a tornado earlier in Florida. Did do some light damage to a trailer park. Nothing significant by any means, but it was a tornado in Florida. Florida doing Florida things. I did retweet that post over on my Twitter. If you guys want to go look at that before we get permission to share it. But it's like completely uncondensed, just debris flying through the air. One of the cooler tornado videos I've seen. Unfortunately, it did do damage. I think there might be a debris ball in Canada. There is this tornado warning in Canada. I haven't seen like a clear tornado on the ground. If there was one, it'd be over here. The Canadian radars, it's really kind of hard to see what's going on. But there could definitely be a tornado on the ground near Maidstone. Went right past Wisconsin. Wow. Still waiting on getting permission for that. No tornadoes right now in Wisconsin, by the way. I still just keep scanning this line in Wisconsin and see literally nothing. New Lisbon, lots of thunder. Yeah, I can believe that. Got some strong thunderstorms moving through the area. Got a report out of South Carolina that we have multiple trees down and a fire ongoing in Elgin, South Carolina. Was the tornado in Florida not in frame in the video or just not condensed? It wasn't condensed. Still waiting on permission to share the video, but... Bro, Nightbot, put the fries in the bag. Nightbot is back out here slapping people in the face for no apparent reason. Nightbot. Yeah, Corey, it's okay. Don't listen to Nightbot. Nightbot's mean. I need to reconfigure Nightbot. It's just, it doesn't listen when I tell it to stop it. Where in Florida? This was in Largo, Florida. Over in the Tampa region. It was right over in here. What happened in Florida? There was a tornado earlier. We've had tornadoes all through here. We had tornadoes all through here. Then we also had a singular tornado down in Florida. I wonder how much storm reports we're up to on the SPC's website. We're up to 12 tornado reports, all of which are in Minnesota right now. But we've definitely had a tornado on the ground in Wisconsin. We've definitely had a tornado on the ground in Florida. So 14 different tornado reports today. This is definitely a regional tornado outbreak, and it started this morning as a 2% tornado risk. This is one of those events that goes from like looking literally insane or like looking absolutely terrible to just everything coming together just a little too well. And suddenly there's a brief tornado threat. I mean, that's what we had today. And it wasn't even really that brief. It spanned for like 3 to 4 hours. Guys, the update on Max is he still has like 2 fiber cuts. And that's the last thing his ISP has told him. Canada's performing better than US. I've yet to see a tornado picture from Canada. Also haven't really been looking, so there may have been one, but I didn't see it. They report out of Florida of a tree down in St. Stephen. Vince was chasing earlier, but I don't see him anymore. Oh, we did have those 2 tornado possible severe thunderstorm warnings here in the Janesville area. Both of those have been allowed to expire and replaced by a special weather statement that expires in 40 minutes. Twitter appears to be broken. RIP Twitter. We may never be able to share that video. Still a few areas that look like they might try and potentially spin something up. Both of those are up to the north over here. One to the west of Clifton and one to the east, southeast of Cashton. Both in Wisconsin. But definitely waning out here as we get into the latter parts of our 2% tornado risk. We are, I think. Yeah, it's 54Z right now. We're supposed to get a new, or 0054Z, so 054Z right now. We're supposed to get a new outlook by 1Z. That's the next 6 minutes. And we'll see what they have for tornado probabilities when that is issued. I'll be interested to see what that is, because as of right now, it looks like this 2% tornado risk does not go far enough. But then again, like, it's already not producing a tornado, so we will see. We shall see. But I would expect a localized expansion to that. Bro, is Nightbot deleting stuff again? Yeah, don't flame Nightbot. It gets mad at you. Not actually, but it acts like it. Like, dang Nightbot. Nightbot? No, stop it. Bad Nightbot. Need me a new camera. Okay. Map box constantly plugging itself. When I copy cam location. This camera is located in Camp Douglas, Wisconsin. That is ahead of our severe thunderstorm warning right in here. So we should see some winds here pretty shortly. How's it looking southeast Wisconsin? We do have some storms in the area, none of which are severe right now. And I don't think any of those are going to be severe at this point. We are now 4 minutes away from what should be our next SPC outlook. OKC, no, you guys are good for the night. When are you gonna make some emotes? Dude, have you seen my drawing skills? I have to like hire an actual designer to make me emotes. We need to get them, but I cannot make them. How's it going, Slow Life? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to anyone else who is new. There's been over, I think, like 2,000 of you that's hit the subscribe button so far today. My art's too good to make into a YouTube emote. Like, I'd go put it on there and be like, dude, this is too high quality. Yeah, I have my eye on the couplet by Clifton. It does look like the rotation is mostly in clear air, so hopefully it fails to spin up a tornado. Rochester, yes, you guys are 100% in the clear. Rotating clouds in West Omaha. Probably not. There's storms going through there, and there's a boundary, but there shouldn't be any rotation, at least a tornado-y rotation in that area. It looks pretty bland on radar. Katie, thank you so much for becoming a 2% channel member. This is completely off topic, but I swear I've done GIS labs for this watershed when I was in school. That's what I was thinking about for so long. I swear. If someone here has been to Stevens Point, is that an area where we did a GIS lab for? I've been trying to figure that out for like 3 minutes. I think I went silent. Whoops. But I swear. This area of convection that sort of popped up here is something that could have a brief land spout threat, but it's not rotating as of right now. Did you receive your degree? I have not yet. It's one of the areas we do in GIS lab. I knew it. Tim, thanks for the $10 super chat from Port St. Lucie. It's nice and quiet down there. In fact, your radar tower's out, so it's very quiet down there. We need W's in the chat for Tim. I did just see a picture of that tornado-warned storm in Canada that we've been talking about on and off. It's not producing a tornado right now, but it's just something that could. Yeah, I'm going to college at UW Stevens Point. Is the blue/red line where the storms are going to go? What do you mean? Like this line? This line is on here mostly for me, but this is our front. It's from the Weather Prediction Center frontal analysis. Football fan, welcome to the channel. This is just such a peculiar looking storm. Like, it looks like it's really doing anything it can to rotate. And the velocity looks like the couplet's right here. And it's just like, what's it doing? But I know we had someone watching from New Lisbon. New Lisbon, this storm's actually headed towards you. Don't think it's going to produce a tornado, and I don't really expect it to. But this could definitely be strong. Bradley, I don't know why you were timed out, but it was probably Nightbot. Nightbot doesn't like it if you send more than 3 emojis, use more than like 3 capital letters, or a bunch of other stuff. Nightbot needs to go find a job application and get a job. This is like the only area that could still produce a tornado. Just putting that out there. And it is now 1:03Z. And we are 3 minutes late for our SPC outlook. I am JCC. Thanks so much for the $10 super chat. Des Moines looks very, very calm. And I mean, this would be the boundary that was going to fire storms if we were going to see any tornadic storms. And I mean, it just didn't happen today. So no tornadoes for Des Moines. I wonder if we can time Nightbot out. I tried, it didn't let me. Not fair. Got a new flash flood warning in Ohio. Hasn't popped up here yet. Is this what we're counting as in Ohio? Wow, yeah. Look at this flash flood warning in Ohio. Like, not even in Ohio. Why don't we call that West Virginia? But this flash flood warning is observed and includes Hannibal in Ohio and Steelton, Vernon, Marion, Peabody, Bebe, Newdale, and West in West Virginia. Nicole, thanks for the $10 super chat from Lafarge. Yeah, Nightbot might time me out if I spend my own chat. Think it would do that if I send too much caps. This is a Nightbot test. Is Nightbot gonna time me out? Haha, I'm invincible. Take that, Nightbot. Don't got nothing on me. So our severe thunderstorm is getting, or I guess not severe thunderstorm, but our thunderstorm is getting to our camera here in Camp Douglas. That is the camera that you can see above my head. See? You're testing Nightbot and you're getting slapped by Nightbot. Only I can test Nightbot, apparently. Wow. Nightbot doesn't like the hee-hee-hee-haw. L Nightbot. We are down to 18 severe thunderstorm warnings, none of which are considerable, none of which are in our tornado risk. Oh my lord, that might be the smallest slight risk I've ever seen. So we did just get our new SPC outlook. And this is what that looks like. So this is our categorical outlook. We can see we have a slight risk in parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, marginal other than that. And then we have a continuation of our enhanced risk, slight risk, and our marginal risk down here in the southeast. This is what our tornado probability, wow. So what our tornado probability looks like. The little 5% there in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. I do imagine our storms are almost through that already. That's literally it. No tornado risk down here in the south. We've been talking about that for a while now, and we do have a hail probability still in a large portion of the central U.S. as well as that southeast corner. Wind continues to be the most considerable thing we're looking at, but mostly off in the southeast U.S. A little bit up here too, but not so much. That would be our risk for tomorrow, or I guess today. Talking about tomorrow's risk, by the way, while I'm here, I do think we're going to see a slight risk and a 2% or a slight risk and a 2% or a 5% tornado risk for this area of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. Don't really know why I don't have one already, but yeah. And then I might as well look at day 3 while we're out here. We're going back into Trough Fest. So this is probably going to be day 3, and then we'll probably see something like here, day 4, and then something like this, day 5. The same thing that's been going on for the last who knows how long. But pretty soon here, once that updates on the SPC's website, it'll update here on Radar Omega. We'll stay here through at least that time. And then if our storms are mostly through our 5% and or our 2%, we may wrap it up here. Our severe threat down here in the southeast is like legit going to continue for hours. Probably going to see another severe thunderstorm watch for this area. But like I can promise you guys, there will not be a tornado in that portion of our risk. It's all down motion. There's no horizontal motion that would cause a tornado. Mercedes, I can see your message. You escaped the Nightbot timeout pit, if that's where you were stuck. Isabel, I have seen a number of tornadoes myself. Purposefully, storm chasing. Can actually finish setting up from earlier. I literally never did. It should fall apart by the time it reaches Oshkosh. In fact, it should go south of it. So our new 5% tornado risk does leave these storms in the 5%. So we are going to be here for a little bit longer. So we're no longer in that 5% tornado risk. And all my windows just disappeared for a second. There we go. I finally got everything pulled up for the first time today. It's crazy there for a while. What state is Max in? He's in Florida, and his internet is out. According to the internet company, because they have 2 fiber lines cut. But that, like, how does that happen? How do you cut 2 fiber lines? Like, I don't buy it. I think they messed something up, and they don't want to be honest about it. Got a 67 mile per hour wind gust out of Albany, Georgia. Stanley, Wisconsin, that's going to be pretty chill up there. Going to have some rain, but nothing in terms of tornado threat. Augusta, Georgia. We do have some gusty winds in the area. So for thunderstorm warning, it's probably 60 mile per hour winds. Yeah, if it's for 60 mile per hour winds and no tornado threat, may see a 1/4 inch or 1 inch sized hail of that storm. No tornado threat. Looking at Wisconsin, I'm not seeing much of a tornado threat, but yeah. I've not heard anything from Max, guys. I just checked. I'd imagine his internet's just still down, and who knows how long it's going to be down. Massive ball drop by his internet company. I swear to God, this like updated with the new 5% risk, and then the old one came back. Like, don't tell me I'm crazy. I can't be the only one who saw that it had the new 5%. Now it's just the old one. Like, what? It did? Good. I knew I wasn't crazy. Omaha, once again, not much going on in Omaha. Cells south of Omaha? I do not see any cells south of Omaha. I see stuff north, but not tornadic stuff. But definitely nothing to the south. We just hit 77,777 views on today's stream. This is something that could produce a tornado to the person who was asking, but I highly doubt that it's going to. All of these storms would mainly produce land spouts and not tornadoes. There's the new 5%. Looky there. That's our 2%. That's our 5%. And we're already halfway done with our 5%. Madison, you are not in the 5%, you are in the 2%. Just gotta do severe thunderstorm warning here. This is a tornado possible tag with 60-mile-per-hour winds. I think we just left the La Crosse area, didn't we? So we are in a new weather forecast office. That is why we've seen this severe thunderstorm warning be issued. It looks like NWS La Crosse and NWS Milwaukee disagree on the strength of this thunderstorm. But this is a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning for Wisconsin Dells, Lewiston, Reedsburg, Rock Springs, North Freedom, LaRue, Baraboo, Bluffview, Logansville, Cazenovia, Ironton, and Laval in Wisconsin. If I had to pick a side, I would honestly side with NWS La Crosse and say that this is not a tornado possible severe thunderstorm, but it could be. So we are going to expect that it is. It's a radar indicated threat. Need more Pepsi. This is not going to come to Lansing. Miller Outdoors, a land spout is technically a tornado, first of all, and it is less dangerous. However, that's like not exactly something you want to like say and rely on, because just because something is less dangerous doesn't mean that it's not dangerous. Also, now that it's dark outside, I have to go fix my background so my face isn't blown out. Alright, that should help me look not so bright and shiny. Isabella, it's not really like you can't just not. I don't know. So there's like nothing stopping you from just like going out and chasing tornadoes. However, you do want to train. Like you do not want to go chase tornadoes unless you have a very good knowledge of what storms do, how they act, and what they're going to do. Because I mean, it is dangerous. Like tornadoes can do unpredictable things, and if you can't at least predict the unpredictable things, as stupid as that sounds, to the best of your ability, like you will most likely get yourself killed. It happens every single year where someone puts themselves in a dangerous place relative to a tornado and either gets seriously injured or killed. So just if you don't trust that you're 100% confident in your abilities to chase a tornado, don't chase a tornado. No one forces you to chase tornadoes. It's always safer to watch from the comfort of your own home on one of our professional storm chaser feeds, such as a Tornado Pagey, a Freddie McKinney, a Bryce Shelton, whoever else. Let them put themselves in the path of danger, and you can see the same things. How's it going, Fable? Still don't really see any areas that are indicative of a tornado being imminent and or on the ground with any of our storms that we have going on. Back down here in South Carolina, we've basically congealed everything into one line, and we're moving into Georgia here shortly. Dwayne, I have dealt with fiber, and I agree that it's a pain in the butt, but it should not take like 10 hours to go track down a fiber break and splice it together. I do know it's a pain, like literally a microgram or a micrometer, a micrometer of dust, like literally big as my two fingers touching together, so there's barely any air gap there. That can completely mess up a fiber connection, make it completely unusable, and introduce packet loss, increased latency, and a ton of other issues. But 2 hours or 8, 9, 10 hours going on at this point to track down and repair a fiber line. Like, it's been out since he woke up this morning. Like, that's insane. It's also not underground. I've seen the fiber line myself. But fiber is like the greatest thing of all time. I'm on fiber right now. I get 600, 600. That's the God speeds. That's not something that you can do on the old style of internet. It's just fiber is very, very delicate and breaks at the same, like it can break. And when it does break, it's a massive pain to fix it. You can't just like cut it and splice it together like that. It's way, way harder than that. I did Max make a video this morning, so I don't know if he uploaded the video before the internet goes out, but we do have equipment that like bonds a cell, like two different cell providers and Starlink together. However, we didn't have a Starlink dish until like this afternoon, and by the time we set it up, we couldn't sort out the issues with the latency of the Starlink. Like, it had 1700 ping and a bunch of delay on it, and we couldn't get it to sort of sync up and play nice with the cell connections, so we just weren't able to get the speed that we needed to stream. We've tried bypassing the bonding hardware and doing it just off of Starlink. That still had its own random issues. YouTube really just does not like the extreme latency that the Starlink dish was having for some reason. But we are gonna, like, pretty soon Max is gonna be in a new studio with new internet, a lot more put together internet connections, and the cell rec connections that we are running are going to be beefed up and like specifically built for exactly where he is. And there's going to be like a bunch of upgrades coming. It's just like the weather has not been like quiet enough yet to go and move everything. We are now down to 17 severe thunderstorm warnings. I think that's the lowest I've seen that number all day, and we are 6 minutes from a bunch more expiring. We just got a official tornado report added 2 miles south of Bar Mills. This is one of the ones that we had talked about being on the ground, and this is something that NWS La Crosse has just added as an official tornado report. We're down to... Oh, we're still at 17. Dang it, I thought we were down to 16. Thought we were going to start taking down. I thought I was like, dang, we might be done. Might be done with the severe thunderstorm warnings, and then they just didn't actually change anything. We have 69 alerts right now, however. Nice. Look at all these silly little pop-up thunderstorms trying to do something. They better not. Bad thunderstorms. Interrogation Files is back at it again. He does this every single stream for those of you who are new today. 20 gifted subscribers from Interrogation Files. So Sean Dash Silver, D White, Kylie, Ambelo, Mache, Bark, Austin, Alicia, Audrey, Buckeye, Paige, Joey, Dustin, Bethany, Lindsay, Zombie Man, Gretchen, and Wild Child. Brad too. Wow, it keeps going. All of you guys especially, and everyone else has to give a massive W in the chat with less than 3 capital letters, so Nightbot doesn't time you out, to Interrogation Files for the 20 gifted memberships. Just heard Rolling Thunder. Where are you watching from? James, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. James says 6'7". That was bait. Guys, what's wrong with a little 6'7"? Do you have any pets? I do. In my hometown in Minnesota, I have 1 cat. Here I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. Del Prairie, you're definitely gonna feel the impacts of the severe thunderstorm warning. However, I do not think you're gonna see a tornado from it. There is like the world's smallest area of rotation. I really don't think it's gonna produce a tornado. But we're not gonna say a 0% chance, because then it's gonna instantly wrap up and drop to next EF7. Satire, of course. Northwest Pennsylvania, you guys are chilling. Nothing going on. Basically nothing going on in Pennsylvania at all, actually. A train spotter in Alaska reporting pea-sized hail. No way. Please tell me we get another Alaska severe thunderstorm warning. Where is this thing? Palmer, Alaska? Guys, it happened last stream. It could happen again. This storm right here is producing pea-sized hail. We may see a severe thunderstorm warning for it. We almost certainly will not. But never say never. We could run it back. Got a 51 mile per hour wind gust out of Pinellas County in Florida. To peep at what's going on in Florida. Like mostly offshore convection all around at this point. Little bit of stuff still onshore. Good old sea breeze storms. Crazy Coffee, happy birthday to your mom. Doubt she's watching, but if she is, happy birthday. It's got an additional 41 mile per hour wind report out of Pinellas County. How about this Canada storm, huh? Tornado warned. Both of these actually are tornado warned in Saskatchewan. No tornado warnings in the US though. What are your pets' names? Well, my cat's names are Simcoe, and then Chip and Oreo. Then my dog's names are Sky and Ellie. Alright. I need to give him 5 seconds. Then we are going to do a heat map. So if you guys have watched Max's streams, you know how these work. But put where you are watching from in the chat, going town name, comma, state, or just state. It'll look like that, what I just posted in chat. And we'll do a heat map to see where everyone is watching from. I already see the Cairo, Illinois in the chat. If you know, you know right there. We'll let that run for a minute or two. I just posting it multiple times does nothing. Nice try. Amber, since when are you in Hawaii? I have a feeling you're not in Hawaii. Got a report out of South Carolina of penny-sized hail. We are ending in 20 seconds when the clock hits 35. 8:35 Central. Got a report of mothball-sized hail. Apparently that's half an inch in Gilbert, South Carolina. That's Lexington County. Alright. We should be done. That map is generating. Unfortunately, everyone who's just sending it in, program's gonna stick its nose up at you. Pettis has to say one more Cairo, Illinois. Those maps are generating. We'll have them in a few minutes. It takes a while to run through all the town names. I think we got over like 250. All right. Here are the maps. So this is our first map. Obviously, I wonder where our tornado risk is here in Wisconsin. This is a map that's zoomed in on Wisconsin. Most of the people are watching from Madison. If you're from the Janesville area, Milwaukee as well, and Wisconsin Dells. And this is our Alaska and Hawaii map. We do have one person, it looks like, watching from Honolulu. Of course, we do have our good old hotspot down here in Cairo, Illinois. Atlanta, too, down here, where we have our enhanced risk and then obviously our tornado risk. A lot of people tuning in from that area. But clearly, this takes the cake up here. Now I gotta get my Discord back in spot. I'll block the overlay and recrop this bad boy. Not leave a random line down at the bottom because I kind of messed up on the cropping of my source. Just got done raining in Janesville, Wisconsin. Anything else coming my way? Peter, thanks for the $5 super chat. Are you going north or south? If you're going north, yes, you're going to drive into this. If you're going south, probably not. Decent lighting on that camera, huh? Denver has a special weather statement. Got a cheeky little storm going on. We do. These are the kind of storms in Denver that try and always do something. Get a little random tornado warning action. Is the map global? I think it's only US towns as of now. Peter, if you're parked in Janesville, you should be good. Like, these storms are coming towards Janesville, but they're going to be hopefully not that significant by the time they get there. If you're going up I-90, though, like, yeah, it's going to be a bit more significant just because you're going to drive into the worst of it. But parked, yeah, it should hopefully chill out. Minnesota popped off today. It really did. It was one of those things where, like, you wake up in the morning, you forecast it, and it really wasn't that, like, considerable and or significant. It just continued getting better and better and better throughout the day, and then it ended up producing. The reason that I think we're going to probably be done for the day is because the remainder of our environment doesn't really have a lot of shear, and of course the wind shear is something you probably talk about, or you hear talked about a lot. It really spins the bottom of those storms and gets them to spin up a tornado. We've basically lost that at this point in time. It's 9 p.m. Sort of the peak shear time has gone through, and there's not really anything left to give these storms the spin that they once had that made it so they were able to produce tornadoes. We do still have that 5% tornado risk, though, however, for basically this part. That's the only thing that remains in the 5%, because we do still have a little bit of shear back there. But the further east we get, the worse or I guess lower the chances of seeing a tornado are. I'll put the radar into motion just so you can see the progression of these storms. They're honestly stalling out down here to the south, and a stalled storm is most likely to be outflow dominant. But it still could try to spin up a tornado. It probably is not going to, though. Is this the longest Riley stream? It's the longest studio stream. It's by far not the longest stream. When I chase, we do like 8 to 12 hour live streams. It's just we haven't had a chance to chase. When will the stream end? I have no idea. As of right now, we still have a tornado possible. We only have one, though. That warning expires in 17 minutes. We'll see what they decide to do in 17 minutes, probably. I'm doing the thing again where I just read chat. Don't say anything about chat. Oops. Wow, somebody just unsubscribed. I saw that. I'm calling you out. How's it going, Barry? It's going banana and crab. All this scattered convection will hopefully just like kill the ability to produce a tornado. Yeah, there's a tornado warning in Saskatchewan. Actually, there's like 4 of them. All for the same complex of storms we have. Stormbot, a QLCS, is a quasi-linear convective system. Basically what we have going on here, however, this is a very not significant, not intense. It is sort of a linear storm system nonetheless. I've literally been like watching this exact same area of potential rotation for like the last 45 minutes, and it just has not managed to spin up. And I know the second that I like end stream, it's gonna spin up, because why wouldn't it? How many likes are we up to? 1 second, I can look. 3,384. Interrogation files, Soma, thank you so much for the $50 for the 50 Canadian dollar donation. Can't forget the Canadian part. We love our Canadian friends. We need 50 W's in the chat at a minimum for interrogation files. "13 minutes left on this tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 9 p.m. Central Time. The only tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning we have. All these warnings down here in South Carolina and Georgia are just for 60-mile-per-hour winds and up to ping pong ball-sized hail. Apparently we had a brief funnel cloud and or a tornado earlier near scenic South Dakota. Can we make it to 31,500 subscribers? Well, you're actually never going to believe this. We just hit 31,500 subscribers as you sent that message. That timing is literally insane. So the answer to your question is yes. Yes, we can. Ask and you shall receive, I guess. Good night, Geraldine. What's the craziest tornado you've seen? El Dorado, Oklahoma, EF3. How many subs today? Dude, I don't even have any idea. Probably like 2,000. GG, we did talk about Ontario weather. That is something we do. We do talk about the Canadian outlook, so when there's interesting stuff going on. Last stream we actually talked for Canadian outlooks for like 20 minutes, I think. We did a whole Canada forecasting session. It's just right now, other than those tornado warnings we have ongoing in Canada, there's not much going on. Eric, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. Georgia, we did talk about Georgia. We do have a lot of downbursts ongoing in the area. That's why we are seeing, or I guess downbursts and just generalized severe thunderstorms, and that's why we are seeing severe thunderstorm warnings in the area. Almost into Augusta. But we're keeping an eye on Wisconsin just because that's the only area that we still have a very slim chance of a tornado. You know, guys, I don't recommend drinking 2 Stanleys and an entire 32-ounce Pepsi in the middle of a stream. I will be right back. I am back. Where am I looking? Albany? Albany where? Albany, New York? Albany, Georgia? Albany, Georgia, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning right now for another one of those downpour storms. This has actually already gone through Albany. Yeah, this is a west-moving storm, so Albany, you guys are done for the day. We did have 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail go through that area. Most of these storms down here are west-moving. Silly, silly, silly storms. Central Ohio has a chance of storms for the next week. Basically, anywhere like in this part of the U.S., you're probably going to see some sort of storms. You know what? I meant to circle Maine too. I missed it. My bad. You're probably going to see a thunderstorm over the next few weeks. May not be severe, but I mean, there's definitely a chance of thunderstorms. Got a severe thunderstorm warning for that storm we were talking about in Colorado. This includes a ton of people, I would have to guess. Yeah, 478,000 people are in this severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-sized hail. This is all initiating off of the cool mountain breeze in the Denver area. 50 less than 50-mile-per-hour winds, but quarter-sized hail. Almost 500,000 people are in this tornado warning, or not tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning. Our tornado watch has 2 counties left on it. Our severe thunderstorm watch is almost all expired as well. And this warning expires in 6 minutes. Madison, yeah, these storms are like coming to you, but they are starting to get less significant, especially with the convection starting to pop out in front of it. This is an indication that the storm line is starting to weaken, and I mean, things are kind of just falling apart. So shouldn't see anything too crazy in Madison. Yeah, Wisconsin Dells, this is a thunderstorm that we have had our eyes on. The severe thunderstorm warning goes for another 5 minutes. It is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and a possible tornado. I saw nothing indicating that we had winds close to 60 miles per hour in this part of Wisconsin. I haven't actually seen anything that would qualify as a wind report, which would be like 40 plus normally. So I would be honestly shocked if they continue that severe thunderstorm warning, but I've been shocked before. How many severe warnings were at the peak of today's event? Right now we have 22. You guys can't see it, but it's right over here. We have 22. I think the peak that we had was around, I want to say 40. I don't know if we ever hit 40, but at one point we were at 39, and that was like at 18 on the hour. So 18, like, I think it was like 418, I don't know, 518, something in there. And they still had like quite the long window to add more warnings on to pass that 40. I would assume we hit 40 at one point. How about in Albany, Georgia? I believe it just had a strong severe thunderstorm go through there. 60-mile-per-hour winds. But it's through now, so hopefully they get that power back on relatively soon. Luke, there's not a tornado coming to Tennessee, at least today. Screens are all bugging out again. Yeah, there's the man himself in the chat. His internet has been down for 10 hours now. Internet provider keeps saying, oh, we're working on it, we're working on it, we're working on it. Yeah, maybe you need to work on it a little harder. Dude, everyone say hello to Max. The Max Velocity. We have 2 minutes until this severe thunderstorm warning should be allowed to expire. What's going on that camera above my head? It's not frozen, but like that light is just consistent. Do we have like an accident there or something? No, it's just a bunch of traffic. Apparently the exact same spot for a while. We did just get a new severe thunderstorm watch for parts of Alabama and Georgia. Show that to you guys right now. This is for scattered wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Isolated hail to quarter size hail, or isolated wind up to 70 miles per hour, and frequent lightning. 7.7 million people, 2,003 schools, and 164 hospitals are in this severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Montgomery, Columbus, LaGrange, Atlanta, Macon, Statesboro, Savannah, Brunswick, St. Mary's, Valdosta, Georgia, and Dothan. All of you guys are in this severe thunderstorm warning. Or not severe thunderstorm warning, severe thunderstorm watch. I was reading something about a severe thunderstorm warning and then said severe thunderstorm warning, W. But that goes till 4 a.m. Eastern time, 3 a.m. Central. Bolden, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. You have to help Max with these Wisconsin town names. Hey, I try. There has been an attempt made. It's just impossible to remember all sorts of different town names. Our severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire, and our tornado threat is also very minimal. We're going to quickly talk about what we can expect down here, which is basically just a continuation of these severe thunderstorms. This system is going to sort of continue its way off to the west, as well as a few pop-up showers that may cause areas ahead of that. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the night. I do not expect to see any more severe weather in our severe thunderstorm watch over here in parts of Nebraska and Iowa, and I'm pretty sure that we are done with tornadoes and severe thunderstorms in Wisconsin here as well. Wisconsin, we do have an elevated chance still to see 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but it is going to be rather tame. Tomorrow, we'll talk about this real quick. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather. However, I do think it's actually going to be a bit higher than that come the day one outlook tomorrow. This is our current categorical outlook. We have a widespread marginal risks that encompasses a large portion. It's kind of a strange shape, actually, of the U.S. I do think we're going to see an upgrade to a slight risk in this part of the Central U.S. This includes Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. This is probably going to be for damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes as well. We're probably going to see a 2% tornado risk, maybe even a 5%. I mean, we saw this today, and it could likely happen again that we do see a last-second upgrade to the tornado risk. I personally do see a tornado risk there as of now. However, the SPC does not have a tornado risk there. So, 0% tornado risk as of right now, but expect it in Max's video that he does mention that there is a tornado risk when the SPC does eventually add it. Other than that, we are basically done with severe weather for today. I talked for 4 hours straight, which is not something we normally do, so my voice is chalked despite the fact that I have drank like 4 cups of water. So I'm going to get off so my voice isn't gone for tomorrow or whenever we have to do the next stream. Thank you so much to the 86,000 of you, yes, 86,000 people that we had tune in today. I think we peaked at like 6.7k concurrent, and we had how many likes on stream? We had 3,500 likes on stream. We also hit 31,500 subscribers. I think we had over 2,000 people find and subscribe to the channel today. To anyone who hasn't subscribed yet, please go ahead and make sure to hit the subscribe button, click that bell as well. And next time that we have severe weather, hopefully Max will be live, and then I will go live after him. But in the event that we do see his internet go out again, I'll always be here to take things over. So one of the two of us can be providing you guys life-saving information. No one else out there does that. There's no other channel out there where you know that if one goes down, we'll send it over to the other. But it's one of the things that we've set up here, and it's one of the things that we're going to hopefully continue to do. For those of you who are obviously wondering about Max's internet, we'll have more updates on that when it's likely, or when we get more updates. So we don't know when that's going to happen, though. But I'm going to go talk to him about it right now, and hopefully we can find out another solution. But stay safe if you guys are in southern Wisconsin or any part of South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, or Florida. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Goodbye.